The Triple B podcast is brought to you in part by Momentum Studios PDX. Momentum Studios PDX, providing professional audio services to the Northwest and beyond for 20 years. Visit www.zebdak.com. That's www.zebdak.com for more information. And by Big Box Toys and Collectibles. Visit bigboxtc.com for more information. And by support from listeners like you. Visit www.patreon.com/tripleb podcast to become a patron. And thanks again for all the support.
Why so serious? So serious.
Good afternoon, people of the world.
What's up? What's up, guys?
Dude, welcome to the Triple B podcast. We are broadcasting live from For the Love.
Wait, what?
For the love.
I don't know what
Yeah,
campaign
what is it?
this is.
That's what is going on.
That's
today.
what we're doing right now.
For the love.
We're
Oh,
live.
Right outside the studio is
that's the
For
event.
the Love,
It's Phil's
Yes.
event.
put on by some wonderful people here in Portland that have tons of free food, tons of free music. I'm going to perform later. A bunch of other dudes like Portland artists. and
Destro.
Destro's coming.
Nice.
I don't know
Mike
who else.
Crenshaw.
Crenshaw.
nice.
Zone's out there DJing.
DJ Zone.
Ozrock's out there.
Don't let
Oz
Zone
Rock.
corner you.
Keep them behind the tables.
Yeah.
Keep
'em-
moving.
Yes,
like,
keep moving.
Use the ropes.
Yeah,
So
I
I
gotta
guess-
Don't
go.
let them corner you.
If you're tuning in live right now and you're in the Portland area, you could go, oh shit, I'm going to go down to this For the Love of.
And if you're not that far, you might even be able to catch a flight.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Yeah,
sure that a lot of
right.
people are already doing that to this area anyways because of the big other festival that's happening in the area.
what else is going on?
There's something going on in Pendleton today.
Pendleton, Oregon.
Okay,
Pendleton,
Roundup.
Pendleton.
Pendleton Roundup.
Yeah,
the
the
rodeo.
Roundup is a big
Oh,
fucking
it's a
deal.
massive rodeo.
I broke down in Pendleton, Oregon yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Bunch of Wranglers, size 28s.
Oh my
No,
god.
Cowboy-
28.
Oh,
28's
28's.
tiny.
By the way, you're
28
hearing
bucks.
Rob Sonic.
Yes, I'm Rob Sonic, and I'm here joining the Triple P podcast again to update you guys from all the things that happened in the last 6 months.
Yeah, welcome back from the dead.
No, the tour.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The Rob Sonic Ready tour. You named it.
Ready.
I wasn't ready. I was
How'd
not
it,
ready.
How'd it go?
Terrible. I was not ready for that.
Did you dip a lot of chicken strips into some ranch?
Well, I mean, I did pass through Gresham,
There you
so
go.
in honor of Gresham, I
There you
did
go.
that. But so I was broken down. I just got to get to this Pendleton thing.
Let's do it,
I'd
yeah.
never been in Pendleton before. Didn't know anything about it. I've passed it in traveling, but I broke down in Pendleton, and I had to drive into the town of Pendleton, which has a population of about 16,000.
Yeah, I got
all
family
over.
there.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
Oh,
Makes
Of
sense.
course you do.
wow.
I don't really. I'm not like close with them.
So you know what Pendleton's about then? It's like a small town with
Kind
like
of.
a Walmart
Right.
and
They got a rodeo.
A big road.
high school
Yeah.
and a prison.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think Pendleton just represents the
East
rest of
State-
America.
The East Oregon State Correctional Facility is
Right.
in Pendleton.
Right.
So I don't know how many of that plays into the population, but it's not a very populated place. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
16,000 seems like
so
a
then I
lot,
start
too.
seeing all these flyers all over this town as I'm looking for a mechanic. I'm kind of cruising through, and it's pretty small, this town. And I see all these flyers, and it's like 50 Cent and Post Malone playing in Pendleton. Like what?
No way.
What? So I'm looking at these things. So I go into finally find a mechanic called AAA, and they actually told me where to go. But it wasn't like I was just like, oh god.
I don't know
You
where
know,
to go.
It wasn't like Mayberry.
Right, right,
But
right.
so I get over there and I see this. It's in all the stores. It's in the Safeway. It's the mechanic tells me that that there is this massive stadium in Pendleton
Right.
where people come and they just swarm on this place and go to every year for something called Whiskey Fest
Okay.
that just started last year.
Because they make Pendleton whiskey there, right?
And
I-
coats.
I don't know.
They do make Pendleton coats. That's a style of coat, right?
Well, they
I don't think
make
it's
like a
made
real
in-
nice wool coat. Like they're famous for their wool.
But
Is
it's
that
a
made in
style,
Pendleton,
right? Like,
though?
isn't it like a
It's a brand.
No, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a
yeah,
style.
there's a Pendleton. Yeah, there is like
the
a.
Pendleton Coat Factory, but it is a style. It is more of like a nice.
Yeah,
like
it's
a
called
fucking
David
pea
Lincoln
coat
Man.
or something.
You know,
Right,
like a lumberjack
like
look.
a neutral.
Right, but it
jacket,
also has
woolly.
it also has some zigzags in there as
Yeah,
well. It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
just
yeah.
all flannel,
Yeah.
right?
Kind of native.
Right, exactly.
It could
exactly.
be, yeah.
A little like throw a little turquoise in there and you fucking.
And you're cool.
This is really confusing because Pendleton whiskey
I don't think
Um,
Pendleton whiskey's
is
from
a
there.
brand blended Canadian whiskey distilled in Canada, imported, bottled, and distributed by Hood River Distillers.
Right.
Hood River,
Okay.
Oregon.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So,
So
they must have
nothing to
No,
do with
yeah,
Pendleton.
nothing to do with
But they
Pendleton.
probably grew up in Pendleton or something like
Something,
that.
who
you know,
knows?
Because I mean, Pendleton's not that far from Hood River.
No, it's not.
So I'm asking the mechanic. I'm like, what is going on? Why is this happening?
Why is 50
Why
Cent
is
coming
50
here?
Why is-
Cent and Post Malone.
So this opens like my entire like I'm sort of blown away by this.
yeah, I,
you know?
I can imagine. Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
drive into this town and it's hard to find a mechanic.
Right.
And 50 Cent and Post Malone are coming.
But you
there.
know what? I see it. I see it. Those local politics of Pendleton, and then some younger dude got like into office and is in charge of like town promotional events and stuff, and
It's
was
a
like,
big. That's
you know
a big
what?
event.
Let's risk all of our money on bringing fucking 50 Cent to town.
Post Malone, dude.
Something like that.
What do you think Post Malone cashes after a show?
Oh, it's
Mill?
it's over
It's
six
over.
figures.
Yeah, yeah,
Over 6 figures.
definitely.
So
Way
I
over.
imagine
Definitely.
that they weren't like
Even
"Let's
50
book
Cent
He's a
probably.
quarter of a million. Well, 50's over 6 figures. For
Yeah.
Sure.
And Post Malone is bigger than 50 Cent right
So that's
now.
probably like a $5 million show. You think?
Well, this is what I was saying. So, like, I didn't understand how that could sustain
right.
in that environment. And they were like, it's a relatively new festival. And what Pendleton did was turn the high school football field into this thing called the Pendleton Roundup. But apparently the Pendleton Roundup is also the biggest rodeo in the country.
It's a
And
has
huge fucking
been-
deal.
and
It's a huge
has
deal.
been for 10 years or something.
Like my mom goes to that.
So
shit.
this festival is new. Whiskey Fest is new. It's going down in Pendleton, which is apparently well versed in the art of receiving all these people because the Pendleton Rodeo is the biggest rodeo in the country.
Yeah,
So they're like,
yeah,
we can.
that's real.
We have the capacity. We can do this.
This is why
Let's do
Pendleton
big.
exists.
For
That
sure.
and the correctional facility, I would imagine.
Was it hot as fuck there?
It was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always like
It
real
was hot.
hot. That's what I remember.
'Cause
about
if you think
Pendleton.
There's
about
nothing
it.
really else around it except and there is a sidebar to it. There's a casino there that sort of powers the town.
there's
too.
that.
Mm.
It's a
And
wild
in
horse
those kind of
casino.
places, it's kind of like ski resorts or like places like where I grew up, Mount St. Helens, the base of St. Helens. There was
Mhm.
like this big giant movie theater called the Cinedome and like all this like tourist shit. Without that, town doesn't
It would be
exist.
great if the Cinedome was by Cinnabon.
Oh, it's the shit too.
Like
dude.
Cinnabon.
I saw
opened a
Titanic
movie
19
theater.
These
times.
seats are sticky.
They had rumble seats, dude. The fucking scream would blow your mind. I think they turned it
They
into
had
like a
rumble
church.
seats?
Yeah, dude, it would like rumble your ass. It was so
That's
tight.
that's an ill style.
Yeah, it
dude.
was sick.
Rumble seats.
Saw Star Wars there.
They call
waiting in
call
line.
that D box.
Yeah.
Is that what they
whatever.
call it?
Yeah,
This shit was like-
D box.
When they were
This shit was
doing
when I
that
was
shit?
young too, so they
No,
were ahead of the
now.
curve.
Now they have the D box seating, which kind of moves during the movie and rumbles and
That's cool.
I'm
stuff
gonna
like
get
that.
that
So
installed
is it
in
sort
my
of like
car.
an Oculus Rift kind of thing?
not at the theater.
They're just right in there.
Yeah, we saw The Last Jedi like
I
that
thought
in,
like
in
they
Monroe,
stopped
Washington.
that in the 50s because like somebody went to like the Blob and like died.
Well,
My seat started shaking.
it's 2019. Fuck that guy.
Couldn't believe what happened to me and Henry.
So you got
we
your
were
car fixed.
watching-
You realize Pendleton's a fucking
Well,
concert
I'm blown away
destination.
because I'm like, well, I'm broken down here, so why don't I just
Stay?
stick around for the concert? Instead, I was
Become
like,
a part of the
when
community.
was
Then
it
I was
last
like-
night?
yes, yesterday.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
Did you
I-
go?
No, the concert's tonight.
Oh,
So
that would have been dope.
So anyway,
though.
so I'm like, then I just like slip into this weird twilight zone that my car was purposely like sabotaged
right?
so that I
So
would
you
go
figure
to
this shit
the
out.
Pendleton Roundup.
You guys want to go?
and just move there.
Let's go to the Roundup.
Start
I
working
can
at the
never
stadium.
leave.
I bet the Roundup
I
has the
start-
best elephant ears and shit. You know, like deep fried dough with fucking cinnamon.
And that's what's
sugar on
probably
it.
Yeah.
weird. This like
Ooh.
50 cents little event, they probably had elephant ears and corn dogs.
Yeah.
and
Oh no,
shit.
but see, that's the weird thing because this town is that.
right, it's a
it's
carnival.
that
It's
kinda
corn
town.
dogs.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the carnival's coming
Right.
through. You know,
My
Like,
my roommate, you know her, Holly.
Yeah.
She went last year and dressed up as a Native American, which
Okay.
my other roommate didn't really think was a good idea. I was more like, do what you do.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Do
you
you?
make your choices.
Hey,
But-
Pocahontas, you know, you
You
can't.
say your statements.
You know, that's not like an appropriate Halloween costume anymore.
But she came back from Pendleton unscathed, so I assume Pendleton was like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, they don't
Right.
care there.
No,
Well,
they're all
well,
dressing up like natives there.
it's right off of Pendleton. I don't think is part of it, but it is right off of the. Because I learned all this stuff because I was just so curious.
She's there. Yeah, fill us in, bro. I have
It's,
family there. I don't know shit.
The Umatilla Indian Reservation.
Okay.
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 Is that's all Umatilla land up until Pendleton.
Okay.
Then it becomes just regular Oregon land again, I guess. Right.
Okay.
But apparently, the Umatilla tribe is who owns the casino, and they have bought up pretty much all of Pendleton.
right.
So they could be. It wasn't really told to me about that. Like they didn't directly say the Native American from the Umatilla tribe are the reason this happened, but that casino is powering a lot of
right.
Of
That's
course.
the
sense.
non-festival times.
right because then that money
course.
is powering other stuff,
Right,
making
they're
the
buying-
economy happen.
Right, because all the people in the town were like, "Oh, they won't even let us get a Chick-fil-A."
That's what they're mad about. How
That
come-
was said to me
there
yesterday.
are-
I can't make that up.
There are people who get so mad about that kind of stuff.
Like I could never in a million years make that up. Like
Can't
like,
even
the-
get a
the
fucking
guy-
Chick-fil-A
I
around
can't.
here.
The Chick-fil-A wanted to come, and the mayor of Pendleton was like, "No way."
Dang, progressive.
Yeah, keep your
Chains outta
chain
here.
out of my.
Oh,
They
out of
do
my
have
link.
a bomb little burger spot downtown, somewhere off of the little highway.
What,
there. I don't
Pendleton?
know. Yeah,
Pendleton Burger.
probably.
Pendleton Burger.
I think so.
They gotta be better than that.
Pendleton Burger
Home of the
Incorporated.
home of the
Everything's
home of the
called-
pepper bacon burger.
Pepper Bacon Burger.
Everything
First-
has Pendleton in the name.
Pendleton Coat
That's
Factory.
all they can do.
Pendleton
The
Whiskey.
Pendleton-
Coat
The
Factory,
Pendleton pepper bacon cheeseburger.
Pendleton car
Get the number
fixer.
2. It's
Pendleton Car
the
Fixer.
the,
That's
the Pendleton
mechanic.
peppermint
The car
milkshake.
fixer.
Ah, dude, they got the best Pendleton milkshakes. Oh man, they
So,
got
Pendleton.
Yeah, so I guess that's going down, and I felt bad because I had anybody ever heard of this before?
no,
No.
None of you, right?
I didn't know Post Malone
Well,
was
I
coming
saw
to
somebody
Pendleton.
post about it because they were like, "So Greaves is opening for Post
That
Malone
was the
and
other
50
thing.
Cent
Because I'm
That's
like,
tight.
in Pendleton,
That's
Oregon."
tight.
I'm like, I tweeted at him today. I was like, hey, so I saw you were opening it up for,
Oh, maybe
50
it was your
cents.
tweet that I saw.
I saw you were opening it up for 50 cents.
How'd
50
you get?
Cent and Post Malone. Way to go.
Good for
Why?
you.
How
Congrats.
is that happening?
When-
I mean, that's
yeah,
pretty
what?
close to Portland.
What?
That's big. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
there's-
fucking tight. Doesn't Greaves live in Eugene? Or am I thinking of someone
I
I
else?
think
le-
he's a
I
Seattle guy.
I visited
He
him
was
in
a Seattle guy. In fact,
Seattle.
I think he was a North End guy. But
yeah, he was up in the north
I'm-
side, but
I
that
think
was
I'm
a while
confusing
ago.
him for
so
somebody else. What whatever.
in Eugene, you're thinking of Sapient.
Okay, you're probably right.
not all white people look the same. Chase.
Seriously.
kind of.
So I just thought I was like, man, what a bad stroke of luck
Yeah.
to have like For the Love Fest on the same day.
I
as-
feel like it's a different crowd.
Yeah, I
Pendleton
don't think
Music
people
Fest.
planning
different
to
crowd.
go.
Different crowd.
People that would go to this aren't like, but you know what? I'm driving 2.5 hours getting a hotel room in Pendleton, Oregon,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna see 50 Cent, Post Malone, and Greaves, the trifecta.
Well, they
of my
definitely aren't getting a
interests.
hotel room there because according to the
That shit is
Pendleton Hotel,
booked.
they told me that they've been booked for months.
They had
Yeah,
to go
there's
to the
no
KOA.
way you're getting a fucking room there.
No,
And if you do, you're paying $500 fucking dollars.
$500,000 a night.
Yeah.
But it's 50 Cent.
You're,
Gotta
you're
see it.
sleeping in your car. You're camping.
At the,
Gotta
There's
see
probably
it.
camping somewhere.
At the Oxford Suites over there
I
on
played a
Southwest
festival
Court
last-
Avenue.
There you go.
I played an interesting festival last night.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Like if
Wait, you do music?
yeah, sometimes.
Never knew.
Well, that you're sort of like the Pendleton Whiskey
Yeah.
Fest. Like I'm like, oh, he does music. Ah,
What the
Like,
fuck?
wait a minute.
Just
wait a
random.
minute.
I played kind of a big festival last night, and it was
Really?
yeah, like out in Camby. It was called Hair Fest, and Dude, it was the most interesting
This
music
Motley
event.
Crue cover bands.
Yeah, I'm not fucking lying.
It was all
Really?
tribute bands.
Yeah,
and
it was
shit?
It's all tribute
bands.
Yeah,
Hair
and-
Fest.
It was the widest crowd and middle-aged crowd I've ever played for.
Right.
But they probably had a good time.
It was a party,
Oh yeah,
and there was a lot of them.
out there in Canby, you
There was
say?
like 3,000 people.
They don't have. They got a.
It was out at a go-kart
They,
track.
they got an egg.
They weren't
farm.
fucking around. The stage was fucking legit. It was huge. Like all the vendors were legit. It was a fucking festival, and I was like, "What the fuck? I gotta go."
I like how we are
And you
like.
just played.
I played in the Beastie
You
Boys.
just hop. Well, right. That I was okay. All right.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's
It wasn't
funny.
just- I just didn't get
They
up.
had
solo
you
set?
on- They had you on there. When you said Hair Fest, the first thing I thought was just a bunch of people
I
like
gotta show you
talking
the.
about hair.
I
styling and stuff.
legitimately, real quick, I gotta show you the picture of the dressing rooms.
Well, the listeners can't see
Eh,
that.
I'm showing Sonic.
I don't
it
think
doesn't
they
matter.
can
But-
see anything now, right? Because we did the
No, we
audio,
don't.
the
What-
video.
what
This
listeners?
is the
yeah,
is the
is there
vibe. Of,
anybody logged in? Do we have any?
Yeah, we got a few people
This is
watching.
All right, we got a few people looking.
this is the
listening.
vibe of the dressing room.
Huh.
Those
That-
are wigs.
Okay, what he's
Describe-
showing,
describe it.
Hair
Those
what
are
he's showing.
80s.
He's showing some sort of temporary wall set up with a bunch of wigs and
That's the
some
vibe.
wardrobe stands.
Guess
That's
who
the
went on
vibe.
after us?
Why are you yelling?
I know.
Because I'm excited. Motley Crue went on after us, and they fucking murdered.
Oh,
it
I
was
bet.
Motley
Wow.
Crue. They looked like
Wow.
them. The drum set was spot on. It had the pentagrams.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
I think it's really entertaining how blown away we are that people do things in other places.
Metallica opened up before us.
What's the Motley Crue's band called?
I don't
Come
know.
on.
Motley Crue, but
Like
spelled
Mobley.
correctly.
No, but they were like,
CREW.
Mobley,
and then like Appetite
Mobley
for
Crue.
Mowgli
dude. There was
Crue.
a there was a
Dirt.
legitimate fucking
Motley
Welcome
Crue.
to the jungle. What's that band?
ACDC.
Guns and
Guns
Roses.
Guns N'
Roses.
Oh, sorry,
Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
Called like
Hey,
The
never
voice.
forget that name.
Jesus, and they murdered. And I was like, these guys take this shit serious.
It's just called Roses and Guns.
It, dude, I have a hard time with the tribute thing. My ego, I think,
Firearms and
comes
flowers.
in a little
Right.
bit.
Wait, don't you play on a regular basis? Don't you play in a cover
I
band?
do.
Well,
So
yeah,
you
he
don't
was
have
there-
a problem.
I
with
don't
it.
know. I've
It's
been trying
it's a
to.
tribute band.
I've been
if you-
trying to quit
okay.
it for a while.
If
Oh.
you think about
And
it,
I'm like-
though, a lot of the other bands, you're playing their songs that they wrote anyway.
I know,
So
and-
it's like you've been tributing this whole time.
You're right. I'm a tribute guy.
He didn't even realize it.
I
Now you're just in a bigger tribute band.
all my fears came true. I'm a tribute guy. I'm overweight, and I'm gonna just have a band in my fucking
Yeah, but-
garage.
But you also just bought a house. with
Yeah,
a beautiful
owner
pool
Chase, how's the new
and
house?
A
The digs are
beautiful
tight.
You got a baby, you got a lady, you got
Yeah.
a house.
hot tub.
You got a good
you got
job.
all-
Thanks.
Yeah.
You're really coming up in the world, man.
I'm trying,
I'm
dude.
proud of you.
I'm
I'm
stressed.
you're
I'm
definitely
stressed.
one of the more responsible people I know.
Yeah, I didn't. I had one beer.
Dude, 3
at
years ago,
Airfest.
Totally.
he was a slug.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do nothing
Yeah, dude.
ever.
What?
I don't
What?
still,
What?
I don't.
What happened in those 3 years? What
just-
changed you, Chase?
I just met a girl who was like,
The power
Oh, I
of
thought. Wait a minute.
Parmesan.
the Parmesan.
Why did I? I thought you knew your wife since high school.
no.
Oh, who's
No.
that?
I've known my lady since high
Who's-
school.
Who's that?
Who's that guy?
I've been dating my
you
girl since
comfortable?
high school.
Oh yeah, no, I
You
just.
alright?
I
I've
got
been,
this stupid knee. I
Yeah.
need surgery.
You can stretch
I've
out.
been dating my lady since high school.
can stretch
Still
out.
won't get married,
Brilliant.
but
Good.
you know, it's only been like 15
Sorry,
years.
Sorry.
Bobby, you were here with us around Christmas time. In
Yes.
fact, I think it was
This
the
is
Santa
6 month like,
Santa Carl
update.
episode, mid-year
Yeah.
hump area of
Yeah.
the year. What have you been up to?
Oh, well, I went on tour. I went on that tour, and that tour was it was sort of the peaks and valleys. It was like life.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Very,
some awesome, some not so awesome.
Mainly not awesome.
Well, we went out in February. The tour legit started on February 1st.
Okay.
So we go out, and everything's great. We go down to we start in San Francisco. Good show, but I should have sort of known just from that. Like, there was some weirdness with the guy who put the show on,
Right.
and
Shady promoters.
it wasn't
Yeah.
really shady. It was just like there was some confusion about
Right.
the promotional budget for
In
the
San
show.
Francisco.
Right. Like there was like a some sort of budget for the promotion of the show.
Right, flyers.
I had
and
no
all that
idea.
stuff.
It's at a little bar and things like that in San
Right.
Francisco. It's well, what are you gonna do in
Yeah.
terms of promotion? It was ginormous.
What did he do?
I don't
Bought
know.
a billboard,
A lot of Facebook.
a radio commercial.
ads and
Yeah,
things.
Facebook is spendy.
Right.
It is that racks
Well, I
up.
didn't know that because I didn't think anybody would do that for, I don't really know how well that works.
Right.
But that's another podcast, unless you guys want to get into that.
No, we can.
It's our side podcast. How well does that work?
It hasn't
I
worked
re-
well for us.
I don't think it works very well.
It doesn't.
No.
I think if you're spending more than, say, $10, $15, $20 a month, you're kind of blowing it and just
I mean,
Filling-
how
paying
often do you
Facebook.
how often do you see a Facebook ad and are like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna click that. I'm
Right.
going to that.
right. So
Never.
that was
Yeah.
brought up to me, and I was just kind of blown away by that. The number that was given me, and I won't go into details.
Did they throw
about
that in your face like you
Yes.
were responsible for it?
Well, it was just said to me, and I was just like, well, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, sorry,
know,
bro.
I didn't tell you to
Because-
dump a bunch of money in a Facebook ad.
Right.
I'm just
Right.
someone to fucking rock a show. That's it.
Exactly.
Because you think
So-
you're a social media wizard doesn't fucking affect me.
Right. It's funny. Sorry, I just
You're
completely
fine.
kicked
You
my
good,
mic.
man. You good?
So that was sort of should have been a telltale sign to me of how the rest of the things were going to go. But no, I'm a very positive guy.
That's fair.
And then we headed down the coast of California.
101.
But we actually only had 2 more shows in Northern Cal because it was San Francisco, and then we did Santa Cruz, and then we had another day off, and then we played a place. I forget the name of this place, but it was like a place sort of close to the Bay Area, but
Like
I'd
Humboldt.
never heard of it. Yeah, sort
Like
of.
a Marin,
One of those, but little-
Marin or Santa Rosa.
Oh, I want to say, oh god, it was like Fairfax. That's it.
Nova Scotia.
Fairfax is a place.
Fairfax.
Isn't that that's like by like Modesto or something like that? I don't know.
But it's close enough.
Central Valley.
It's
Central
close
Valley.
enough that I probably shouldn't have played it.
Well,
Like, I'm not 50 Cent playing the Pendleton Music
No.
Festival here.
Like, your reach in Fairfax isn't
right.
the big.
Especially if I just play the 2 larger places like San Francisco and then Santa Cruz.
Right.
and
Most people are like, I'm just gonna go to the Frisco
we're
show,
not-
or
Santa Cruz, I think, is an hour away from Frisco. So, but we played that, and that's where it all sort of got empty. Let's just-
Yeah.
That's when
where
the people
all,
left?
and all the things got empty, like my soul,
Yeah.
me.
it's
You
rough.
know,
It's
like
rough.
it's just like the third night out. you
I know all those
Oh,
feelings.
and that's what I think-
Oh, so well.
That's what I always found so interesting about touring was that you went through these cycles of life within a week. You know,
within
what I
4
mean?
days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
You
just
know?
like fucking losing everything, not having anything.
San Francisco was
something working
really
out.
well attended and awesome, and Santa Cruz was good, but that was like more of a private party thing.
Santa Cruz cracks every time I've played it.
It's
just
crazy.
because
People
it's
are
kind
just
of
wandering around.
They're bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
and if
I
you
mean,
like can play kind of the main hub in their little town,
yeah,
because it's a little town.
I don't think it's even
It's
that
not-
they're bored. They're just out doing that kind of shit all
Right.
the time.
It's
Yeah.
not that they're bored, but Santa Cruz is a little rowdy. It can get fucking
it was super rowdy. That
yeah,
night.
yeah, yeah,
Super
yeah.
rowdy.
It
the
gets rowdy.
skaters and shit out there.
Yeah, they're pretty hardcore.
Yeah,
like,
there was definitely
they
some
like to party.
Dogtown.
It
Santa
was-
Cruz
there's
likes to party. dude.
Definitely a point where
That's a hair
some
fest
members
down
of
there.
my tour were
Yeah.
yelling at some other people.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. It can-
that,
Santa Cruz
that was
is kind of
fun.
wild.
And then,
At
like,
least in my
then
experience.
the owner shut the, very dramatically turned off the power to the entire
Oh, nice.
establishment. So we're all sitting in the dark.
Sweet.
That's wild.
Were you partaking in the booze on this tour?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at that point,
I want to hear
like,
about that.
Well, because I was driving,
Yeah.
So of course I had to
so,
drink.
so like
Gotta stay awake.
when I don't do that. I don't drink and drive. But so and when I would get
Jägerbomb,
to the
Jägerbomb.
place, when I would get to the place, I would be like, okay, this is what's going down, and I'm not getting into the car for a certain amount of time. So there was a lot of hang in these places,
Right. 'cause
Without
you're like, I gotta
working.
sober up.
right? Because I'm not gonna fucking get behind the wheel if
Right.
I'm even thinking that I'm gonna blow anything weird, you know.
Right.
So
Friday night.
you
Sorry,
know,
had
no,
to.
yeah, put it back in your chest. I'm not blowing that, Mr. Officer.
Yeah, put that away, please.
Yeah, so I you know, so then we had this weird 2 weeks off on the road.
Oh man,
Those are the
2
worst.
weeks.
Those-
It's a
Jesus
cheap
Christ.
hotel,
So
somebody's room.
Somebody was losing lots of money.
and me.
Yeah.
Not somebody.
Quickly.
In particular,
Me. Your
Quickly.
podcast guest was losing every
Money
and
goes
sanity.
Fucking fast
Money.
out there.
when
Oh
you
my
got days
God.
off.
Woo!
Woo!
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's
too
rough.
much.
Too fucking
So,
weird.
That's
yeah,
too
I
much.
I sound like Better Off Dead. 2
Yeah.
weeks.
What do we do?
So for I'm still trying to keep it in my mind that we can like
make this
maybe
work.
pick up some dates here and there. So after we see this thing going down where we have this like massive, and we had sort of just found out there were all these tentative dates on the rider, or not the rider, but the schedule.
Right. Like,
So, you know, my
loose
guy who was
ends.
working on it was
Yeah.
like, you know, I'm trying, but they're just not coming through. And it was that one after the other.
and a lot of times those
eventually-
aren't the best, anyways. Then you just
Well,
roll up
they're
to
all-
something.
There's
you know.
something.
You don't know.
Better than
you're
nothing.
playing-
True,
But
true.
it's something we're working. You
You're
know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But a
I
lot of
agree.
them didn't go through. So we were like, at some point, I sort of hit the panic button and I was like, let's drive to Reno, because we were sort of in that area where we were a couple hours from Reno. And I had just played a place in Reno, and I was pretty sure that I could get us a gig in Reno. So we go to Reno, start heading out to Reno. Now, this is the February, but this is where it really got February.
Snow.
I didn't take that into account. Okay? Because we were in Northern California, and it was okay. It was rainy, but not, you know, we're
So
good.
you got to go through Tahoe. You got to
You
get
gotta
up in
hit
the.
the
Right.
mountains.
I'm from
Yeah.
the East Coast, guys.
Yeah,
So,
buddy.
and you know, I don't know nothing about no mountain ranges, nothing like
No.
that, you know. So we head out to Reno, you know, and I still got the morale of the crew, you know, the group is still pretty high. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get us something in Reno, you know, no problem. I can just, you know, just roll up on this spot that I know and, you know, get a play, you know, do a show. I got some guys out there. So we get to going out of Sacramento towards Reno, and we start noticing that the rain is turning to snow.
Quickly.
and I'm like, it's okay, you know.
It's a rain snow mix.
We got to do something.
wintry
man.
mix.
You
Let's
know,
keep going.
wintry mix. So we travel and we get higher in elevation, and then the
Snow's
street signs
worse.
start getting more ominous.
Yeah.
Like,
More like
if
chains
if
required.
you don't have an all-wheel drive car, which I did, thank God, or chains, turn back now. Type. This is what the signs were saying. So I'm like, let's just do it. Should I turn around or do it? And everybody in the car, who I think they were all drunk, but they were just, they're just like, let's do it, man. So we, because we had nothing to go back to California for.
Right. You're like,
'Cause,
if this
you
is
know,
it, it's it.
This is it. This is what we had to do. So we hit a massive snowstorm. The first snowstorm of this tour. We had a massive snowstorm in the Sierra Nevadas.
That's
Right,
a good
so
place for snowstorms.
It's closed. Like, I'm looking at the GPS, and as it's going, roads are being closed on either side of me.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm just like, holy moly, this is nuts, you know? Like,
Mhm.
what is going on? And this is early. This is like 4 or 5 days into the tour that this is happening. And I'm like, this is weird. But I'm like, so Reno's got to be okay.
Right.
Because to me,
It
it's
snows
in
in
it's
Reno.
in the desert, though.
Right. Right. You're like,
So
we just gotta
again, my
drive
East
through
Coastness. Once I get
this
through
patch
this,
of snow.
once I get through this, and we get to the top, and of course it's like a real legit mountain of snow. It's snowing in the peak of this mountain
Then
that you
it'll
have
be
to get
fine,
over
right? It'll be
to
fine
get to
over there.
Reno. So I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I mean, we're going 2 miles an hour. We're sliding all over the place.
I've been there on those scary
Stressful, man.
ranges
Ridiculous.
too.
White knuckle, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like I'm just like, oh my God, what have I done?
When you're
you
on
know?
a mountain range in the snow and there's no other cars, you're like,
Well, I
am
mean, there's-
supposed to be out here?
every like 20 miles there was police.
Right.
And they were
right.
just like, there were overturned tractor trailers. They were just like skeletons. It was terrible, man. It was
Oh wow.
the worst. So we get over there, and it didn't stop snowing.
Mhm.
So Reno is completely just shut. Like, you know, like the
Closed.
hotels and the casinos are open, but that's it.
Right.
which is great because the only thing to do in a town of snowed in is gamble.
Right.
Yeah, just
Wow.
get drunk and gamble.
Get drunk and gamble, which is not a good recipe for saving money.
And you show
So-
up trying to see if this little spot will do a show.
Yeah, they were completely closed.
They're like, yeah, you're crazy.
They're
How
like,
did you
"No
get
one."
here?
Like, what are you doing here? If you don't live in Reno, no one's here that doesn't live here except for the people that are snowed in, because all the roads
It's like
back,
The Shining.
right, and all the roads out of Reno closed as soon as we got in there.
Rob Sonic's Oregon Trail.
All roads out
Yeah.
of Reno.
So you were in Reno.
I was in Reno for, I think this is where, I don't know if you guys paid any attention to it, but we made a song called Snacks in the Van.
Snacks in the van. Huh?
We made a song, and because Zone was with us at that
Oh,
that
yeah.
point, he was still with us, so he had all the studio and a backpack going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got snowed into Reno for 3 days, and I'm just peeling money at people.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I'm just.
Hey Sonic, I don't have any money because I didn't bring any money. Can I
Right.
get $20 for some food,
I need
bro?
snacks for the van.
Oh my
hungry.
God! Well, you know, when people can't get out of a hotel, the hotel prices suddenly go way up.
All right.
Fuck yeah, they do.
So, you know, I'm $300-$400 a day. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, holy shit, this can't continue. I can't deal. You know, like this is insane.
This is unsustainable.
Right? Yeah, I know.
This makes no logical sense.
Yeah, I'm just not, you know, it was just insane. So the weather finally breaks, and we had another show to get to. I can't remember off the top what it was, but right about that point is when Zone's like, I'm losing tons of money not being at my studio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, well, here's your choice. You can either hang out with us
Hang
for-
in the hoodie.
you can hang out with with 8 more days with possible shows that might not happen.
Right.
And then we're headed to El Paso, Texas.
which is gonna be better.
Which is going to be great
gonna be
because
so
it's El
good.
Paso, Texas.
It's great there.
Right?
Mhm.
Or I can take you back to Oregon and you can, you know, get back to work. So he was, you know, obviously like, take me back to Oregon, you know, take me back to my studio so I don't like lose any more money. being
So
out
did you
here.
fly him out, or you were like, "We're
No,
just
I
done.
drove.
We're done. We're going."
You just drove him
I
back?
drove him back from Reno.
Jesus. You're a nice guy.
What am I gonna do?
What a
Just
good
leave
friend.
him? He's out there for me.
Yeah.
He
chose to can't come,
he
right?
was the nicest guy about all of it.
And he always
Everybody
is.
I
He
was
always
with,
is.
Milk, Upgrade, and Zone were such good sports about it that I was just like, I'm literally out of my mind at
Yeah,
this point.
Right,
You
you're
know,
like, I can't believe this
Like-
is happening.
like dudes are like snoring wrong, and I'm like, oh, fucking shit. God damn, you know.
Nothing's
And
working.
they were so patient and cool about it.
Zone's the best on the road.
Oh yeah,
He's-
No,
I
they
mean,
were
he's a road dog.
That
He's a vet.
crew was so, you know, I don't know whether it's just the alcohol intake was so high or
Yeah.
Usually that helps.
I just sort of drugged them. You know,
yeah, just fucking drink this.
I
chill
was
out.
like, but you know, every time there was like a you know a mention of possible, you know, maybe this isn't going well or something, you know, any kind of maybe some discontent
Right.
amongst the crew,
A
I would just
mutiny
pull into a
stirring.
liquor store. I would just pull into the liquor
That's
store.
when
and-
most mutinies happened, when they ran out of rum. So
Exactly. So you know, that's how we got through that, and then we had 2 more shows in. We dropped him off here, and then we drove to Flagstaff.
Jesus,
You drove all the way back to Portland and then
And
went
then
to
drove-
Arizona?
just road dogging.
That's
road
fucking
dogging.
crazy. I would say
Yo.
that was a horrible decision. Just stay here. Just fucking lick the wounds. Stay here.
I agree with
Book
that.
another one, you dumb
I-
fuck.
But he's Rob Sonic.
I'm Rob
Ready.
Sonic.
I'm Rob
Ready. I'm Rob Sonic, and I was ready. Okay.
There's no stopping me.
drive you back to Portland.
There's
drive
no
back to
stopping this
Flagstaff.
train.
Ready.
So,
That's awesome.
so we go back to Flagstaff.
Bro,
And
how
I-
long have you been doing this shit?
Yo, you have no idea how ill it was.
Oh, that's
So-
awesome. I
So
love it.
I'm looking at the maps, and I'm like, all right, there's not many
You know,
mountains.
17 hours.
Not
There's
big
not
deal.
many
Not big-
mountains to go through to get to Flagstaff, so I should be okay. But the one mountains you have to cross to get there are the Rockies.
The Himalayas.
You're like
Oh my God.
your viewpoint of the U.S.
Oh my
landscape is
God.
like a drawn one for
We're
an
going to the
elementary
desert,
school.
right? We're going to
A
Arizona.
desert,
It's hot.
some mountains, desert,
Little sprinkle of mountains.
lakes.
In between us and the desert.
Should be
sprinkle
should
of
be
mountains.
fine. Should
Yeah,
be
we'll
just
all
fine.
right. Let's go. You ready? What time is it? 3 a.m.?
Because I'm ready.
You ready? I'm ready. You got the lewds? Let's go.
So you
So
have to
I
cross
take-
the Rockies.
I put milk and upgrade.
Is this
in the
February
van.
still?
Yeah.
Oh
this,
my
is,
God.
this is middle of February
How,
now.
did you guys have Xanax or something?
Oh
Fuck.
my God, I don't know what everybody
Yeah, okay,
had,
fair.
but you
Fair.
know, I try not to ask.
Yeah.
But
I'm
so
sure there was
we,
a whole slew of fucking good decisions.
so because it is Arizona,
Right.
and I figured it would be relatively okay in Arizona. Flagstaff's not real Arizona. It's not Phoenix.
No.
Flagstaff's in
It's
the mountains.
northern, yeah.
Flagstaff is the higher than Denver
Oh,
in the
You're
mountains.
just driving to
Oh.
death.
oh my God.
But I didn't know that, right? So I'm like I drive from Portland to Flagstaff and through these terrible mountains that are just snow just constantly.
How long
Since-
did it take?
Well, before I got out of Southern Oregon, I was hit in some fog storm. Right? So
The White Walkers are
Yeah.
coming.
I mean, you guys are from here, so you guys ever been out there in like Southern or
I have.
Eastern
No.
Oregon? And
Oh,
Yeah,
you've been up
the
in these
fog?
mountains in mist. It gets
Yeah.
real, just
Oh
a
my
settled
God.
fog.
The part of the most dangerous drives on this thing, believe it or not, happened here.
Yeah, that's understandable.
happened
It gets
here.
Oh,
pretty
it's-
crazy.
it's
yeah.
Like some of
Wow.
the mountains we had to go because other places were closed. Like we had to go over like Battle Mountain,
Okay, I don't know that.
which
but-
is here, and it's literally
Never
like-
go up Battle
Battle
Mountain.
Mountain.
That's
Well,
level
that's-
10.
terrible idea.
Well, it made the going over the Rockies look like a walk in the park.
Yeah, wow.
That John Denver's full of shit.
Yeah. So I'm like, what? You know, if I get back to Oregon after all that kind of shit. First of all, there was a blizzard when we got to real Arizona.
An Arizona blizzard.
Like it hasn't snowed like this in
Like 89
Phoenix.
years.
All the everybody there's like,
Dude.
we haven't seen snow since I was 2.
Check this shit out. Check this shit out. Phoenix, Arizona, as I was driving through it, 17 inches of snow.
Whoa.
Albuquerque, New Mexico,
Yeah, hot.
10 inches of snow one day, 7 inches of snow the next day.
Do the math.
Holy shit.
17 inches.
It hasn't
Holy
snowed
shit.
in Albuquerque like that in 100 years.
Dude.
Mhm.
I'm driving through all this shit because you have to go through Albuquerque to get from Arizona to.
Why?
to-
Because
to,
you're Rob Sonic Go.
I'm Rob Sonic ready.
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 Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I left that out.
So at the end of this tour, randomly, there were these dates in Florida.
Don't tell me you cross-tripped America to Florida.
Dude, your tour was a Stephen King novel.
This is
Exactly.
the worst
Crazy.
So
fucking. This is a worse than a sleep tour. No offense, I didn't mean that. But there's been
No,
some
this-
horrible decisions.
this,
All
yeah,
tours,
yes,
yeah.
you're right. I definitely was not. I was just so you
had to
know,
go.
ready.
Yeah,
I was
gotta go tour.
Rob Sonic ready, and I blame you
Yeah.
for putting that
Put
in
it
my
in
head
Yep.
right, he's
because
like, "I gotta
every
go."
time I
It's
wanted
Chase's fault.
to call the ball, and be
I'm the
like,
reason
"Nah."
why.
I just kept thinking, Rob Sonic ready. And we listened to it.
I love it.
We listened
I love
to
it.
We listened to the podcast.
You should
probably
get that
4
tattooed
times.
on your
Oh, that's
forehead.
so funny.
Ready.
So I think like we finally get to what's the place in Texas that I was just
El
saying?
Paso.
El Paso.
Right? And it's like finally warm.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, this is great, you know.
Right. Let's just live here.
And some of these shows, like they were legit good shows.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a
Yeah.
little disappointing in like when Flagstaff because it was negative 10 degrees in Flagstaff.
And nobody came.
and just ice. There was ice like this thick,
Yeah.
like 7 inches thick ice on the roads.
That's
Like
awesome.
Dick size ice.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
well,
my-
not for me.
Well,
Yeah, come on, Jesus.
Sorry,
not
sorry.
for me.
Yeah.
You know,
Bigger
Three and a
than
half?
dick?
3 or 4
Yeah,
inches.
Ice
yeah,
bigger
yeah.
than dicks?
You know, we all aren't blessed
Yeah.
with your kind
We
of.
all
I'm
don't have
sorry.
a fucking
Kind of.
kickstand.
the Lord made us all differently.
We don't all have a fucking goddamn bull moose.
Oh, we
hanging.
lost a listener at the Dick Talk.
Aw.
Eh, it went bad.
Oh, later. Well, you know what? Fuck that listener.
They can't hear you anyway.
I don't give a shit. Fuck them.
They left.
They left.
Yeah.
So
That's why you can say those things.
we
That listener is a fucking piece of shit.
Whoa.
everybody's a little different now. on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
tour.
changed it, changed it.
Everybody's a little different. I think Zone got out of there before like any of the real MK Ultra things.
Yeah, because
started
he's
happening.
exactly the same.
Ew, yeah.
He got out of there.
Yeah,
Right.
You know
he
what
was
I'm
the
saying?
smartest man.
He could,
He,
he could
saw
see it coming.
He smelt it from a mile away. I gotta
Well,
get the fuck out of
I
here.
think he was trying. You know, he was like, I'd really like to do this. I just
It's like,
can't.
yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
Hit the
but
wall.
he did his. You know, he did what he had to do, and then we finished in El Paso, and we couldn't make it because we drove back, and I was just like, I can't traverse the country again.
Yeah, no.
Right.
So I had to dead the rest of it, the stuff out in
Mm,
Florida and
yeah.
the East Coast states.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
of course.
you probably would have went there to a hurricane.
Well, apparently,
anyways.
Yeah.
apparently, we weren't even. The West Coast was relatively good weather-wise,
Right.
compared to the middle of the country going
Right.
east. Like on the East Coast, it was fine, but
yeah, I think I remember all
in the
those
middle,
crazy
it was a
snowstorms.
terrible winter.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
in
yeah.
America, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a fucking
It was.
insanely bad winter, and I drove through most of it.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's when
damn.
Trump was gone.
So
We could
dangerous.
sure use some of that global warming,
Right,
couldn't we?
Exactly. Exactly. I like had a mental breakdown, and when I got back, I like went on Twitter. And I was like, I almost died 30 times. I can't believe what I've done for hip hop.
Well, all I gotta say is you're making the right decisions, my friend. You're fucking
Well,
killing it.
What?
That's what you got out of that whole thing.
That's what you got?
Yeah, I'm jealous, dude. That shit's tight.
You would have liked it, yeah.
Yeah, dude. You know, just,
I mean, you can't. You know,
if I had a bunch of money in the bank, yeah, not a, but not a.
well,
I got those
it would have been
memories, though,
different.
man.
You know,
Yeah.
if I had a bunch of money, we'd have been
Right,
flying
right.
everywhere.
Right.
You know,
It's just
Yeah.
like those situations.
Yeah,
man.
I remember
those tours,
yeah.
bro. Those tours are young man games.
Shout out Minus and
That's
Eraser
true.
Face
Those are-
because I did a
those are
winter
young men.
tour through the mountains of Montana, and we went through the hairiest of fucking passes, going 2 miles per hour,
It's crazy.
all for that shit. And we were talking a lot about it of like, so like, how many times you think we can do this before like
Yeah.
it's just you're off the cliff and you killed your friend?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude,
You know
dude.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like that,
yeah.
and I'm the only driver.
Mm.
Like
Really?
other
You
guys
did most-
offered to drive,
just
but
going fucking
it-
insane.
Oh,
the
fuck,
only
dude.
time
That's so
where
stressful.
like I was just like, all right, does anybody else want to do this? And one time Upgrade was like, I'll do it, but then as
he
soon
tried
as
to
he
walk a
said
mile
that,
in the shoes.
as soon as he said that, we hit another snowstorm, and he was like, nah, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah. That's rough.
And yeah, bro, kudos to you, man, because you kept your friends alive. And
Yeah.
that's fucking-
That was really all it was. Like about a quarter into the tour, I was like, I gotta keep
it
these.
was kind of
these
like
No,
your
dudes-
totally,
these
man.
responsibility.
dudes
That's what
alive.
I brought these fuckers out.
Yeah,
I gotta.
right.
They
I
came
gotta
out
do
here for
this.
me, and it will be all my fault
You're like,
if they don't make it back.
I will
Yeah, that's-
drag them through
That's
Battle
good on you.
Mountain if
And
it's
that's-
the death of me.
And honestly, dude, that's fucking good on you. Like, somebody's like, dude, I gotta go home, and you're willing to fucking drive them all the way back. Most
yeah.
people would say, sorry, bro, I don't know what to do.
For whatever reason,
Like,
to
you
get
need to,
him.
you gotta like book a plane or get
Yeah.
a Greyhound. Like, I'm fucked. And-
Well,
Call your parents.
Well, for whatever reason, getting him to Fairfax from Fairfax to Portland was incredibly expensive any other way.
yeah,
Right.
okay.
Like at last minute.
yeah,
like,
when you're
right,
trying
right.
to do something.
no,
that
yeah,
day.
for sure.
yeah.
But I mean, dude, I've been on tours like, for example, like, you know, Zone and I went and did. This is a long fucking time ago, and I'm not mad about it or anything anymore. But like,
Sounds like you're holding
no, I'm
resentment.
just saying, like, there was a
You
Hawaii
gotta let go.
there was a Hawaii trip we went on.
You went
And-
to Hawaii?
Yeah, we went and played a festival and blah 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 blah.
You
It was-
flew out there.
we flew out
Okay,
there,
good.
and then the promoter,
Drove.
was like, at the very end, I kept asking him, like, dude, did you book my flight back? Like, and he's like, eventually, like, it came to, we're at the airport. And he's like, I'm out of money. Sorry, bro. Phone off. See ya.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
tight.
and it's like one of those.
Flights from Hawaii
Yeah.
are expensive.
And I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'll just live
I'm
here.
living in
This is
Hawaii
tight.
now.
You know, I hitchhiked the whole trip anyways. Like me and Scotty just
Are you
hitchhiked.
serious?
Yeah, man. We
In
got to
Hawaii.
the airport and they're like, sorry guys, we don't have room for you. figure it out. All the bands got in, and me and Scotty go, well, let's go get a bottle of vodka. And we
Oh
got
my
a bottle of
God.
vodka and walked to the beach. Just went swimming in the Pacific Ocean. It was fantastic. And then we're like, all the locals were like, just a hitchhike. That's what everybody does out here.
What?
Some nice old Portuguese lady in a Jaguar picked us up. We're hammered drunk.
Whoa.
And she's like, wherever you guys want to go, I got you. Here's my number.
Wow.
Welcome to Hawaii. We're like, fuck, I love this place.
Good God.
And like, you know,
Sounds like a great experience.
It
Well,
was- it
I
was-
gotta say that if
it
you're gonna
was
be
great.
going on tour in the dead of winter in the Rocky Mountains or Hawaii, I'd much rather it be in Hawaii.
it was a better place to be stranded. And then like, I was like kind of like messing around with this like,
stuck in paradise.
and I don't want to bat. She was I'll keep names out. She was a real nice lady. She ended up flying out because like, you know, I was like, come to Hawaii.
I'm a
Yeah.
beach bum of Hawaii
Right, so I
now.
fly this girl out, and like, dude, we get to this festival, and they were expecting a lot of people, but it was off season, so nobody showed up. They had enough drugs for the fucking whole continent of fucking
The whole
What
continent of
continent?
Hawaii.
Hawaiian continent.
North America.
Okay, okay.
Right?
I'm glad you pulled one out.
No, man, you didn't let me finish. There was jars of ayahuasca, jars of acid, pounds and pounds and pounds of drugs. This
What?
guy was smoking DMT in this bunk. He's like, spiders! Ah! And I'm like trying to sleep. Zone and I took acid. It was fucking fear and loathing in Hawaii, bro.
My God.
Damn.
And
That sounds like a way better time.
So
than
this
that.
girl-
Like, how are you comparing
so
this?
this girl comes out and does all the drugs and goes nuts. And I'm like almost responsible for it because I invited her.
You're like,
And
come
everybody's
do all these
Like,
drugs.
you're almost responsible for it.
And everybody's like, this motherfucker brought her out here. You know, like she's just a mess. Anyways, she ends up fucking buying my plane ticket. I ended up on a plane with all of them back, which was fantastic. And then we hooked up on the plane, which was fantastic. And then she got drunk, and then we got in a huge fight on the plane. It was fantastic. And I got home, and I
My
don't think
God,
I ever
that's-
paid her
that's a-
back
that's
because
a
I'm a piece of
whole-
shit.
You guys oofed on the plane?
No, she tugged me, and I
Into a barf bag.
I fingered her under a blanket.
That's all right. That's the mile high.
Oh, there
Yeah,
is
sure.
something wrong with you.
So
That is what in that
it
is.
was it was
I
a
don't know
wild.
how
are
you're
you?
comparing these
Who
things.
is
They're
he?
pretty different.
I don't know who you are.
I
Lon.
just
Just,
it just spawned, you
Gresham
know,
Trucker.
all these.
Gresham Trucker.
Just another Gresham Trucker.
Oh my
That's what
god.
life's like for.
Yeah,
Gresham
you want to see my
Trucker.
CDL, dude?
Nobody wants to see your CDL.
Check this out, Sonic. Hold on. Look at this photo, dude. I
Why does
purposely
he keep
I-
showing him
I purposely
pictures?
shaved my head, so like it was like the best.
Wait, let me see this.
Rob's reaction made me laugh so hard.
Have you seen this? Have you
No, I
seen it?
haven't. I haven't seen it.
He's a perfect Eggman. Perfect potato.
Oh my God.
Oh.
It's the best truck driving photo ever. I tried. So
That
hard.
has to be your profile picture on social media.
Oh my god. That's
Oh my god, I'm
incredible.
having a good time. I'm having a
What
good
in
time.
hell?
Oh my god.
Well, for sharing ID
Oh man.
photo IDs,
Yeah,
have you
come
guys
on,
seen
bro.
my concealed carry permit?
Bring it on, dude.
Oh,
see
you
that.
got a good
Oh.
photo?
I can't believe they gave me this
Oh my
thing
God.
looking like this.
Oh, please. This is awesome.
Jesus, you look like I'm so sick and tired of it.
Like I'm gonna shoot everybody.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna shoot
God.
everybody.
Oh my God.
Let me see this. I gotta see this.
Holy
That's probably
shit.
what everybody's concealed carry looks
Oh,
like. Just
all right,
Good
all right.
God.
I don't know.
What are you just like, I'm
Holy
gonna-
shit!
I'm gonna-
He killed everybody at the
It's like,
bus
I'm gonna-
stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this concealed carry license
It looks
today.
like
I'm
you
gonna
eat humans.
look as dangerous as possible.
So some old ladies, they're like, "So you'd like to carry a
The only-
weapon?"
Yes.
Concealed weapon.
Only
Yes,
thing that would
now.
like make this not a mugshot is like if you were in like an orange jumpsuit or like they
Yep.
had you in the green suicide vest.
That would make it not
Yeah,
a
no,
mugshot.
the green suicide fast. Holy
Anybody else
moly.
got any photo ideas they want to share? Or
Yeah, do we have any
pass them?
more like fun photos we could?
Mine's actually a really good one.
Is it? Let's see it.
Yeah,
Let's see it.
mine's-
Bring it
mine's
out. a good
mine's
one.
Bring it out.
Not
Like
everybody
a-
gets good ones, but every
Yeah.
once in a while.
I
That's
don't
a
have
good one. Mine's a
This is
good one.
This is a
I
decent
went
one.
like this,
I actually look
and she
cool with
snapped it. I go, thanks, perfect. She
Dude,
was like, you
yeah.
want to see it? I
Yeah.
go,
I
yeah.
haven't-
Tight.
Yeah.
That's a good photo. You're
mean,
right.
Rob Song's a good looking
good
guy.
one. That's
You're
a
a
good one.
good-looking
Yeah,
guy.
when I'm taking care of myself, I'm not so bad.
Yeah, you look handsome.
Let me
Yeah.
see.
And at one point I'll switch this license.
No, you.
to where it's supposed to be.
That took me
Jesus.
years.
Oh
Took me
my
like
God.
over a decade to do
It's
it.
Dude.
crazy.
Well, who wants to go and do things?
That's
like
insane,
that?
bro.
It's a good one, right?
That's a good photo.
You're supposed to do it in 30 days or something like that. And
I just
did
did
it.
mine.
I did it in I think 13 years.
It was still
So it was
good.
close.
It was still
It was
just
close.
renewing through mail.
I would just I was renewing it up there in
Yeah.
in Washington, Seattle.
Oh my
That's so
god.
crazy, man.
Yeah, man. Fucking.
So that's what happened since in the last 6 months. I mean, there was a lot of other stuff. I almost died at one point.
Yeah,
recently.
I kind of. Can we get into that
Yeah,
a little bit?
That's
Okay.
crazy.
I don't even know really what
We haven't.
happened there. I tried
Obviously,
not
we
to.
saw your post.
And this was
Yeah,
this was after
was-
the tour.
this was
in,
after
like,
the tour.
was
This
this
was
in, like,
months. This was-
April or
No, this was a
May?
month ago.
This is-
month ago.
yeah, this is
was
recent.
A
in
month
June.
ago,
This is
I'm
recent.
driving back home from. I was in New Mexico, right? I had spent my birthday in New Mexico, just like chilling out, and I went to see like the Hollywood Vampires do
That's
a show,
cool.
Okay.
That's cool.
which is crazy, because I just think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper and the guy Joe Perry and Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
The Johnny Depp thing throws me off, so
Wait,
I had
Johnny
to see
Depp
this.
Is part of that?
Johnny Depp is part of this band.
He plays guitar, right?
He plays guitar.
Yeah.
And I was like, that sounds interesting. I'm gonna go do that, and hang out with my friend down there. And so I go down there, and everything's cool. But I noticed that I was like sleeping more than I should have been. I was like just worn down and tired, and I was like, it must be just like the drive is crazy, blah blah blah. So I'm like sleeping, I'm good, but no, nothing real big. So I go to leave and come back after all that. It was, pretty cool, fun stuff to do. I'm driving back, and about 8 hours from Portland, where I was headed, I started getting this weird pain in my stomach,
Okay.
and I thought it was gas. I was like, oh yeah, I
Right,
just
right.
gotta, I ate like a
Gotta let a big
BK
one out.
double, I got a fart or something.
Right.
So I'm going, and then I get out at this one place to get gas. I get gas and go to the bathroom, but I couldn't go to the bathroom.
Like
but it
pee or
really
poo?
felt
One or two.
two.
Okay.
So I couldn't really go. And it was odd because it really felt like I had to. So I'm like, what's going on? This pain's sort of getting increasingly worse. And then a few hours pass, I get out again, and the pain is incredible. But it's not in my stomach anymore. It's like right at my pelvis, like my
Ugh.
waistline.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
Dick-
I'm like,
dick level.
this isn't normal. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I called my mom immediately. And I was like, hey, Ma, like I just like stepped into the car, and I thought maybe I had strained like an abdomen muscle or
Right,
something.
pulled something.
Because I got into the car, I was like parked close to the curb, so the ratio of floor to car entrance, the distance
It was a
off.
little awkward.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like stretching a little strangely, but that was when sort of it all sort of just went nuts,
Hmm.
and the pain became like unbearable. And I'm still about 6 hours away from where I was going. And
Driving while all this is
right, I was in Eastern Oregon again, and nothing's really there, except for now I know that Pendleton's there.
Yeah,
But,
next
uh,
time.
Right. But nothing's really there except farmland. So I'm driving, and the pain's getting worse, and it's starting to radiate out from my waistline, like up my body, Like I'm getting straight, like I'm like sweating and driving,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
that's-
Your whole body's reacting to this.
something is
Yeah.
going on, and I know it at this point. And it just, I'm like sort of covered in sweat in my like shirt is sort of wet now with sweat.
Yeah.
And I'm
that's not
like,
good.
and I'm a big fat dude. So anyway, so I'm like, this is crazy.
But you got
Whatever
AC
it
in
is.
the car. You can keep it.
Yeah,
regulated.
I'm like pumping the AC, but I know that something's really wrong with me at this point.
Yeah.
So I start looking for a hospital, and there's kind of nothing there. There's no hospitals for. I'm sure that there's like little hospitals that I could go to, but I felt like this was something that was extremely severe, and I don't have insurance. So I'm like, whatever's happening here is bad, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew this in my mind. I get to a rest stop and I go to stand up from the car sitting position.
Are you by yourself?
Yeah,
Oh,
completely.
fuck, that's scary.
And I stand up and I can't. I can't stand erect at all. Like the pain is just too much. I look down and there's just piss all over my like I had pissed
So
myself.
you lost control, didn't even
I didn't know.
Wow.
I couldn't feel none of it.
fuck.
I'm like
Really?
pissed. Yeah. So at this point I'm like, holy fuck. So I like hobble into the rest area, try to like clean up a little bit.
Oh, bro.
And I'm still 4.5 hours away from where I need to go.
Yeah.
Right. And I can't find like I called my my friend and I was like yo, can you find like just do some research because I'm driving and I'm losing service and like I feel like I'm dying
Where
right
do I
now
go?
because I'm like
Yeah.
pissing myself and like like I didn't feel it at all, you know.
That's scary.
Like it was really scary.
That's
but I was
scary, dude.
because I was like
Jesus.
sweating too.
Right,
So
right,
I was
right,
like,
right.
what is this? Like I started going numb and all that area was just going numb and I was like, I don't know what this is. So try to find me a hospital. She finds me a hospital, but it's only an hour outside of Portland. So I'm like, well, whatever's going to happen, I'm not, I just kept trucking,
Yeah.
So I finally get here and I go to my bed and I'm like, I change my clothes and I like lay down in bed and I'm like, I know something's really wrong, but I'm going to try to like sleep it off. I don't have insurance. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
it's
So
like,
I'm
you'll
just
do
like,
anything.
and
to
that's
not
what
go
the
to doctor.
mentality of is if you're uninsured, that's
Sucks.
sort of the mentality.
Yeah,
That
you can't
sucks.
go to the doctor.
You can't get
can't.
health care.
Right.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
Sucks.
And
or
if it's
or
something-
you're losing everything.
Right. Something serious is going to happen to you. And if you don't have health care, you are literally like faced with the dilemma of, it's either going to kill you people live like that.
Or it'll get better.
Yeah.
on its own.
Like,
And in the
like-
back of your head, you're thinking, no, if I go there, they're just going to tell me I really have to fart.
right.
Some
because
shit
that,
like
that
that.
could be too. I
Right,
could be like,
right.
okay, maybe there's just something. Maybe I'm just like, it's just something that they can give me a pill for or something. I don't know,
Mm.
So I get to I sleep for about 15, 20 minutes and it wakes me up. The pain wakes me up. And I was here and I go to the bathroom and I see Zone and Machiavelli,
Yeah.
and they're all like, hey, bro, welcome back. And I'm just like, literally, they were like,
Like, leave me the fuck alone.
well, they were kind of freaked out by how I looked because there was no color.
what
Like I was just
happened, yeah.
completely pale.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah,
And I'm like just kind of like, oh, fuck,
All
And
right.
so I get my shit together. I go to the hospital, wherever in Milwaukee or whatever.
Okay.
I
Alright.
go to the hospital over there at Providence.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like not really telling me what the deal is. I know I can't stand up. I can't walk. I'm like
And they're
messed
just doing
up. I had
tests and
regained
shit, just-
control, but nah, they didn't. This was during the admission.
Oh.
So they keep coming out and they keep having me sign stuff. And it seemed kind of weird because they kept coming out to me. They put me in a wheelchair and they kept having somebody come out every 10 minutes
Mm.
to just have me do like weird stuff. Like, hey, can you put your name here? And then I found out later that I was in like critical condition and they were just kind of making sure that I wasn't like keeling over in their lobby,
Yeah.
yeah.
so they were
Liability
like
shit.
sort of just keeping an eye on me
Making
doing
sure
that.
you were cognition.
Right, because I was in critical condition. I was
Wow.
almost completely septic. Like I
Oh,
almost had
fuck.
sepsis, and
Dude,
my appendix had
shit.
ruptured, and my gallbladder was being infected by this like weird infection I had like been kicking around for who knows how long, and I had a blockage in my small intestine.
holy
Which was-
shit.
The pain of me thinking that I had to go to the bathroom and not being
So
able
did
to.
that cause the rupture
Yes.
then?
Yeah,
Oh,
this
shit.
piece of poop
Yeah.
had been
Damn.
lodged in my lower intestine.
What a piece
for
of shit.
years. And it
For
caused-
years?
For years, dude.
Oh, bro.
Jesus.
Years. It had calcified in my lower intestine.
Yeah.
Because that shit happens. That's why they talk about like you get a hydrocolonic and fucking there's
Yeah,
like 5
man.
to 10 pounds of shit that's just in your
It was
body.
petrified poop.
Yes, it was
Crazy.
essentially it was calcified. They
Stuck
called
in
it. But it was just stuck
So
in my
then it
lower
becomes
intestine.
a little rock, basically.
Right, and it got stuck in an area where the what do you call the appendix meets the lower intestine, and that caused this slow moving
couldn't-
infection
Wow.
to sort of just take over everything.
Wow.
Ruptured my appendix all on the insides. They had to like go in and do all like multiple washings of my insides and take out the would move that piece of whatever it was.
Did they give you a poop transplant?
Well, they cut open
fecal
that
transplant.
part
Yeah.
of my small intestine and removed whatever it was.
Right.
And they got rid of that. They power washed my insides basically, removed the rest of this ruptured appendix,
Fuck, man.
and
You almost died.
yeah, I was.
Did you feel like were you thinking that like I feel like I'm gonna die?
when they took me into the room in the there was one nurse and she was super awesome, but she kind of let me know that like
This
I
might,
was in bad shape.
this might not
This
work
is
know.
out.
like this is pretty
Well,
bad.
because I was like
Fuck.
I was Instagramming it.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm saying?
I know.
I do.
Yeah.
Like, because I didn't think it was going to be that bad. You know what I'm saying? I was
I
like, oh,
understand.
just send out a little love for me because I'm just in the hospital here.
Probably a kidney stone.
Yeah,
or
something silly like that. But then that all stopped because they were like, you need emergency surgery. We're not equipped to do the kind of surgery that you need here, and we have to transport you to St. Francis.
Did
or
they
St.
helicopter
Vincent's.
you?
St. Vincent.
No,
St.
they
Vincent.
That
didn't.
would have been
They-
tight.
That's like
Put that on
North
my bill.
Portland, right? St. Vincent, isn't that the one?
That it's technically Portland still, but it's up by Beaverton.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
so
yeah.
that facility was able to get me in time for them to do the surgery. But no, they didn't helicopter me, but they would have if I had stopped before getting to Portland. They would have if I had like went out there because they could.
Right, they would not be equipped to do
I was in
shit.
such bad shape that when I got to the hospital, they kind of knew immediately. They didn't like lead on that I was like that messed up, but like the triage nurse was like, "Okay, something's wrong." Like something's
something's
really,
wrong with you, guy. We're gonna get you.
Yeah,
we're gonna do our
something's
best, but
seriously
yeah.
wrong. So if I had stopped at the one about an hour or 2
Yeah,
hours
yeah.
outside of
Pendleton.
Portland, because they were small,
Yeah.
They
So
would've
they wouldn't have
fucking
been able to do it.
life-backed you.
they would have sent me in the helicopter, and that would have been
Yeah.
because my bill
Astronomical.
is, I could buy a good portion of land
right.
Jesus.
with my bill now.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
crazy.
I'm sorry.
If I had been medevaced,
Oh fuck.
forget it.
You'd buy your own helicopter for that.
Yes,
Yeah, for
I mean
real.
it's
For real.
so much cheaper just to die.
Yeah.
Dude, so fucking did they tell
fucked
you
up.
like how off you were? Like, dude, if it would have been a few more hours,
Yeah,
a day,
yeah,
because
if-
I think it's incredible.
A
You
day
lasted
for sure,
that
you're
long.
dead.
You
Yeah.
drove
Oh, yeah.
through that. You
No,
tried
if
to
I
sleep
hadn't
through
if
that.
I hadn't
Fuck.
gone
Rob
that
Sonic.
day,
Rob Sonic. Fucking. What is it?
Rob Sonic ready.
Ready!
You made it up.
The
Yeah.
easiest
Sorry,
thing
man.
ever.
I can't. My brain sometimes doesn't work.
So they didn't really tell me what it was, but one of the interns that I saw, because I saw so many people,
Right.
like there were
this
just
guy
people,
is fucked.
nurse after nurse, and I was pretty. Once they got the good stuff in me, I didn't feel anything
It's
anymore.
like, Mom,
I was chilling.
Let's stay
You know
like
what-
this.
Yes.
We'll talk
Absolutely.
off air
love the
about
hospital.
them good
Yeah.
things.
Oh man, because they were shooting me heavy with the Dilaudid.
Yeah.
The
and,
Dilaudid's no joke, dude.
man,
and
I
you,
was-
you
nice.
feel it hit
Good
you that
stuff.
Just nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean,
They
all of
tapped
the
you
pain,
right in your
because
spine.
it was the pain that was like, and they told me, they were like, you sounded like you were in labor a few times. Like people could hear me down the hallway, right? Because it was that kind of like, it would build up,
Yeah.
and it was just like,
So uncomfortable.
I'd be like,
Oh,
and
fuck.
it would just last for about a minute and a half, and then it would die down, and then it would come
Ah.
back, and then
Right.
when they finally got me on the Dilaudid,
It's like
everything was
diarrhea
chill.
on crack.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, absolutely.
You know what I'm
if
saying?
that's what you equate that
I
to.
could never really explain.
Do you ever
that
get
pain.
I
I
got
could
a
never-
weird question.
What's
Nah,
that?
I'm not gonna ask that.
No,
No.
ask.
Do you ever get a boner when you have diarrhea?
Jesus.
What?
Nope.
I don't.
Just
no.
say no and move
No.
on.
Nobody does except for you.
Dude, that's fucking
It-
crazy intense. So you got
Yeah.
into emergency surgery.
Yeah, they
You're
throw
all
me
fucked
into
up.
emergency surgery. They do all this stuff, and I think it was a couple hours I was getting the surgery, and then I get out, and they were like, before they sent me, they were like, this could be very quick. Like, this could be really easy. If it's not so bad in there, you'll be walking home tomorrow.
Right.
Your good money. Because essentially it was just the appendix and the removal of the calcified shit.
Right.
Right.
right? So it should have been that. But there was a problem with my gallbladder as well. So they were talking about taking out the gallbladder as well, which would have been, there were all these options they gave me. They could be like, I'm going to wake up to this sort of, you know,
Fuck.
wheel of fortune.
Any
type
one of
kind
these.
Yeah, what do you
They
wanna do?
open up
These
depending
are
on
the-
circumstances. They do different
Exactly.
things.
When we get in there, we'll really know. So we can't tell you now because we haven't been in there yet. You'll be asleep while it's all happening. So there's 3 scenarios you're going to face. You're either going to go home tomorrow, you're going to be here a couple days, or worst case scenario is we're going to have to do multiple things and you're going to be here for a month.
Mm,
Which is, which means they're going to take out the ruptured appendix. They're going to take out a herniated abdominal muscle, or whatever they do, untie it or whatever
right, 'cause
happens with
it's
a
a
hernia.
machine, so fucking everything kind of
Yeah,
just
it's
connects
all
and can
fucked
all-
up. They
yeah.
were pretty much like, we can see on the CAT scan that it's fucked up, but we don't really know how fucking bad it is till we're in there. And we may take your gallbladder out too. So, that's where you'll be with us for a month. So out of the 3 choices, I was in there for about 7 days. So
Could have been worse.
yeah, I got choice B.
Yeah.
If A is me coming home tomorrow and C is I'm there for a month, I got choice B.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking
You know.
split the diff.
Yeah, it was fun.
Dude, that decision, I'd say my uncle had thyroid cancer, and they could tell from the scans that it was touching his vocal cords,
Yeah.
but they didn't know how much. So he kind of had a similar experience where they were like, you're going into surgery, we're going to open you up. Depending how bad it's attached to it, we might have to take out your vocal cords.
That is
So
the
just so you
weirdest
know,
thing.
you might wake up and not be able to talk.
The weirdest thing in the world I think I've ever experienced is having to sign off on parts of me being removed.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Take it if you have to.
If this is going to make my life better
Then do it.
in the future,
Right.
take it out. And I signed off on all of it.
Ready.
Yeah.
I was
Rob
like,
Sonic ready.
do what you can. I literally the last thing I said before
Just
the
don't take my
anesthesia-
dick.
I mean,
you got it,
it's
you
not like
got
I'm
it.
using it anyways.
If you got it, you got it.
God, dog.
No, but I to say that kind of decision making is
Yeah.
it's
It's
a real
So
but I was so high, I was like, whatever.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Just take it
Yeah.
all. Do what you gotta do.
all right, let's play a
little.
little game. Higher or lower? 50 grand.
A little lower.
Okay.
Yeah, but right about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good
It's-
game.
That's good. Yeah.
That's a real good game.
It's in the
Okay.
neighborhood.
Okay.
Like, it's next door neighbors to that. So-
Payment plans?
I'm dealing with it.
Working it out.
I was I started a GoFundMe
Yeah,
for
yeah, that's
part
fair.
of that, and
That's fair.
I was just like, I didn't really want to do
It's
it.
hard
but-
sometimes when you see like just a post on, and I'm not being an asshole here,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't want you to take this the wrong way. You see people like post like hospital things, and it almost feels like, look at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
And I don't
didn't
mean
wanna-
that. And I
didn't
don't mean
wanna
that
do
like in a. And I'm not.
That's
being
a very
dick.
odd perspective.
I don't know. Sometimes I just. You know.
Look
You
at
don't know.
me.
You don't know.
I'm
Like
very sick.
I don't know. Sometimes you just
And
don't.
I need money.
No, you don't know how. Yeah, you don't know like how.
No, see,
serious
what
or
pisses
how
me
bad-
off is when you see people start it for stupid shit.
Right.
Yeah,
The
right.
thing
right.
is,
right.
when it comes to, and that's why when it comes to Medicare for all and shit, that people are like, we could just contribute to a GoFundMe sort of thing that would fucking pay
Right.
for
Damn,
everybody
dude. I
instead of paying.
I
health
didn't realize how
insurance.
serious that was.
I didn't either. I mean, because they
Fuck.
don't tell you. Like I
damn.
kind of liked the way they were a little. I've had a lot of experience, not a lot of experience with that, but I have been in the hospital before, and
Yeah.
back home in New York, they're really direct with you. They weren't really direct with me about what was going
Giving
on.
you that Portland, Oregon hospitality.
It was
It's all good,
but right, but then there was
Got
like,
you. You're here. You know?
well, but it was weird because it was a little freakier to me because I'm not used to that kind of thing where people are, doctors in New York be like, I'm ripping this out of you.
Like, look, you're probably gonna fucking die if I
Exactly.
don't do this.
You know, my dentist was basically like, you're in for a cavity, but I'm gonna pull your wisdom tooth out instead.
right.
You know, because I just want to. You
Right.
know, so that
I'm
kind
just
of thing.
having fun
Thanks,
here.
Doc.
And that's a true story. You know what I'm saying?
Just having fun.
But here, it was weird because it kind of threw me off when I was like, okay, so you can't do the surgery here, and they're not going to start until the morning on this thing because they wanted to see what was, whatever it was. They needed this delay of 3 or 4 hours
Right.
because at this point it was into the morning hours. And I was like, well, can I go home? And they were like, hell no. Like, you definitely can't go home.
Yeah,
They
no
were as
fucking
nice
way.
as hell, but they were like, no.
No, like
No
You will
fucking
not be
way.
going home until all of it's done and you're
Wow.
able to, like,
Yeah, we can't.
piss again. Because, then there was all that. There was all the side effects of getting that kind of surgery and doing what they did with, like, I had the
Could you?
pee
They couldn't
bag.
discharge you until you could pee on your own type
Yeah,
situation.
no, they gave me
Yeah.
the catheter, they gave me the colostomy and all
Right.
that. I had like drainage holes. I still have drainage holes,
Yeah.
but they're not hooked up to like the gunk receptacle and all that fun stuff.
So ultimately, the root cause of this
Was
what
a
is it, just-
calcified piece of shit.
which is the result of what, just shitty eating habits.
Well, the person that was close enough to sort of explaining what causes it, because they don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Right.
not one of those things. It's just they were like,
There's
this
probably many different.
you could have eaten something. Sometimes I guess there's a theory that it's caused by fruit seeds. Like, I
mm,
ate a whole apple at one point in my life, and it's been blocked
Hmm.
for years or something.
It could just been a core of an
Well,
apple.
here's the weird thing is that I remember distinctly after they told me what the deal was with that. I remember a couple weeks going in to this, or a few weeks. It was way harder to shit than it had been for a long time.
right. So
Yeah.
things were building up.
Things were happening, and
Yeah.
I was sick. Like, I was sick, but because I've always lived this, sort of archaic lifestyle of I don't have insurance, and as long as I'm not dead, I'm gonna keep trucking.
Just brushed it aside.
I brushed it aside,
And-
but I was sick.
And ultimately, fucking,
You're real
like,
fucking
I'm so
real
glad,
sick,
so
yeah.
glad it worked
Is
out.
septic
Could you
like
imagine
when-
dying from that, and then ends up it was a piece
That's in
of
your
shit.
blood,
He
right?
died from a
A
piece of poop.
shit.
Like
Come
septic is like in your blood.
It's an
Sepsis,
infection,
it can be like, I was septic. I had sepsis, not full. Like, I wasn't like yellow yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was really pale.
But you're getting
and-
there.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
And
was,
that shit can go quick, and then
Yep.
You-
I mean, usually it's when sepsis sets in. It's like, okay,
it's
it's-
kind of
it's
you
over.
go to
You're-
the ICU
you're done in
and
the
you
next
have
day,
you
maybe.
have a 50-50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
they can
saying?
maybe, fuck, bro.
Like-
Well, I'm glad you're sitting here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's
I'm
great.
glad you're fucking
I
here.
wanted
I'm-
to be able to come back and tell you guys what a horrible tour I had.
Jesus Christ.
it's great.
I'm gonna say my life is a little bit better than yours right
Well,
now.
here's the thing, and
It's not great.
this was
but-
the thing that I sort of, I would have never said this because I'm from a sort of we didn't have money as a kid,
Yeah.
and we didn't. Health insurance is like, you don't know when you're gonna need it.
Right.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you can be this fucking sort of Iron Man shit. You
Yeah.
know, like, I don't need that
Uh-oh,
shit.
yeah,
I'm good.
I did it for a long
You
time,
know?
man.
I mean, I lived in the Bronx for 22 years.
Yeah.
I'm not dead yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I will not die.
Yeah.
The shit's bullshit because something dumb will
At
happen.
any
And
moment.
then you need it.
Could be
Dumb,
anything.
and
Yeah,
you will
man.
be like,
I
Then you're like, I should
can't take that shit for
$30
granted.
What the
dude.
fuck?
It's like,
well,
fuck.
that was the problem. See, because I fall under a strange thing in Oregon. I tried to get insurance here,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't able to. They said I was covered, and I
For
get
the,
to.
like Health Oregon or something.
Yeah, I
like
tried to
that.
get on basically whatever version of Medicare they offer for people that are not
Yeah.
like on the
Yeah.
dole
on a
or whatever.
privatized insurance.
I'm
There's
not,
the- there's
I'm
the
not
state.
poor enough to be on the dole,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But I make enough money
So then
that
you-
I'm just above what it takes.
right. So then it becomes your responsibility. Of
Right,
that you
and-
have to purchase.
And the only insurance I knew or ever had was Cobra, and that's $580 a month.
Jeez.
I want to
Fuck
know
that.
who's making enough money to pay $580 a month.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Not
You're going
me.
to the doctor every month. Like, I gotta get my money's worth.
Not
I
me.
have to.
What the fuck?
That's a massive car payment.
This is gross.
know?
I mean, I pay, and dude, it's like $56 out of my paycheck to have full on medical.
Yeah, so you're paying that a year.
No, yeah,
Right.
$560.
They were the only plan I could get on. For whatever reason, it's changed now since the last time because it was a year ago that I tried to get on this shit, and they were like, "Cobra's the only thing that we can offer you,"
Jesus.
you know.
That's
And I don't
weird.
know what happened with Obamacare. Like
Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
yeah, it's
Oregon
yeah.
Health Plan or what is
It's
it?
still around.
No, that's the thing. There's Obamacare, but in Oregon we have Health Oregon or
That's
something
what it is.
like
It's
that.
called Care Oregon.
Care Oregon.
Care
That's
Oregon.
it. And that is
You should
our,
just say
like,
you make a
local
little
shit.
less.
Well,
but that's the
then
thing
you
is
get into
with
insurance
Obamacare,
fraud.
it's it's on the same
Just-
level of Obamacare.
Just make a little less. Go on another tour.
Well, you're right. Well,
If
so
it's
see,
blow a bunch
that's-
of money.
Yeah,
That was the thing because I
Yeah,
was
right.
like, this year, lady, when she
Yeah.
was asking
That'll
me,
be all right.
I was like, this year, lady, I definitely spend more than I make, you know? And she was like, it doesn't matter. It's pre-tax.
It's the pre-year, yeah, the
yeah.
previous year.
So you got to make
Crazy.
like nothing.
Right, because the expenses don't really affect it too much when you're
It's
self-employed.
pre-tax.
You get your it's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
I don't. We're sort of punished, and that's the thing. Like
yeah,
as
it's
artists,
fucked up.
you are
man.
punished by the way you get paid. 1099 employees are punished for being 1099, for not buying into corporate America,
Right.
for
Right.
not, and that's where
Be-
another thing outside of just being a fucking bonehead, you know, tough guy, you know, like, you know, fuck, you know, I'm not scared of God
Right.
type shit.
Right.
It was that I'm being punished because I'm an artist and always have been an artist.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know,
So
Fuck, man.
everybody here kind of supports like Medicare for all. Then I take. it,
I
like,
definitely,
yeah,
I do.
I'm definitely a fan of national health
Yeah.
care.
I wouldn't
No,
object.
More than
I
ever.
wouldn't
universal
object.
health care.
Universal health care,
Yeah,
man.
why not,
It seems to
man?
work very well in Europe
Mm-hmm,
and Canada.
Yeah.
I almost drove across.
There's
Like where?
Really?
Where?
I,
like,
that's
I'm
what
gonna-
I
I'm
was
going to
going
Canada.
nuts when I was driving
Yeah.
through here. I was like, something's really wrong. I'm pissing myself. I'm fucking going across the border, and I didn't make it.
Will they take care of you if you're not?
Yeah.
they have to.
yeah.
They might not let you in though.
They might not
That's
let
the
me
thing,
in if
is
I'm
getting
sitting there
in.
with like, you know,
Yeah.
I got like wet pants
Yeah.
and
And
I'm
if
like,
you're in-
"Ugh, can I just-"
And that's what the doctors talk about of like, you know, like you having to sign off on all this shit and like they're basically like letting you know like you're signing off that they're gonna charge you too.
It's not
like,
your
crazy.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That you're
responsibility.
okay with this. Whereas in these other countries it is like they're just focused on taking care
I
of the
think
problem.
out of all the things, that was the illest thought. Driving and being like, I gotta go across the border.
I got to get to Canada.
You're like, yeah, how the tables have turned.
It was the illest thing. And think about it, and you're like, you really ponder that.
Yeah.
Mm.
This
You know?
country is fucked up in so many goddamn ways.
So
Well, you're building our highways, buddy.
Yeah.
so
Literally.
and you're getting paid off my taxes?
Filling potholes.
Excuse me?
Dude, they're taking about $900 out of my fucking paycheck.
Quit
so,
making so much.
So there's that.
Well,
Just
that
playing.
means you're making a
Uh,
lot.
Yeah.
No.
You just bought a hot tub in Gresham.
Yeah, motherfucker.
My dog, my
I ain't
dog.
making that much
Come
money.
on.
They're taking out 900 in
he
taxes,
just
and I just
bought
bought
a
a hot tub in Gresham.
Owner Chase.
Owner Chase.
Uh,
So
I didn't.
I mean,
Kimmy
I
did.
don't want to put you on the spot like this, but do you feel like there was like an ultimate takeaway from all this of just like, I mean, it sounds
Is your
like
life different?
February until now. Are
you gonna make
until
some
that
changes?
was just like
it's
everything crumbles.
Was this your New
you know,
Year's
it wasn't-
resolution?
It didn't feel like crumbling.
Right,
It just
really.
felt like this is what it is.
right.
You know what I'm
You're
saying?
in
Like,
it.
I've always looked at life like that.
Yeah, like
Like
this
I've
is
always
life.
like throw it at me, son.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Right, like
you
these
know?
are testaments to my strength.
Yeah, the
that I make
damsel's
it
on the
through.
glass mountain. Give me some spikes. I'm going up to get her.
All right, I
You
like
feel
it.
me?
Yeah,
Going up-
I do.
That
I
is-
do.
that is
I
that is
do feel
legit
you.
how it is. And I don't. I, think
I
I'm
respect
just,
that.
I think
Going
I'm
up
nuts.
Battle Mountain to rescue a damsel.
Right.
Well, did they? I mean, were they like, "Hey, Sonic, you know, you got to clean it up"? Did they like give you? any
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the aftercare of that is where all that starts.
Yeah.
So I'm like seeing a doctor regularly, out of pocket now.
Okay, that's good.
You know.
I mean, it is what it is, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just they were just basically like, because one thing that I've always sort of dealt with is hypertension.
yeah, same here.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just like
You're a
it's
very
stupid.
high strung person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm-
that's high blood.
They got you
I'm
on the
ready to go.
lisinopril.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
you
on
know
that
what?
shit. I'm on it.
I'm not on that. They took that didn't work for me. It didn't react with me. I'm on hydro something or other.
Corthalazone.
Hydrocurthalazone
yeah.
and another.
We're talking to Blood Pressure Alley over here.
Right.
bro. Yeah.
And but are you guys actually actively taking care of it?
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I have.
So
high
you
blood
guys
pressure.
understand what that?
Yeah, I have
that
hypertension
deals with.
1. Yeah.
Yeah, no, mine's down now. Mine's good money.
Good.
Yeah.
That's
Good.
awesome. I don't think I'm there anymore. I'm on like 10 milligrams of that shit on a daily.
They had
on
to
the-
double up whatever it was for me.
Yeah.
They had to go like,
Yeah.
and they were like
I'm-
worried.
I'm
no
gonna die from a
diabetes.
heart attack for sure. Like,
You think so?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's an
Stroke or
interesting
heart
thing to
What
just
is the
go
way
on
to
doing.
Or
that.
speak it into existence.
No, well, no, I'm not saying.
Manifestation.
I'm just saying. Like, I don't want to.
Do you ever feel weird in your heart?
Yeah.
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 Oh, that sucks. I never actually. I don't even think mine
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah, I can't feel my heart either.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
I kind of
Mine
think that's how it's supposed to be.
That's what I hope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you shouldn't
you're
be
not
like,
supposed to
oh, my
feel-
heart.
Yeah, I was feeling my organs when,
Right.
when it was going.
Like when
down.
people say they get heart palpitations.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know
get,
what that.
I, get
I don't know what that
flutters.
feels like.
I get heart flutters, but
Well,
I have
that's
really
from
bad,
lots of caffeine.
I have
I'll
really
get a
bad
little
anxiety
Yeah.
and stuff though
Um,
too.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah.
You know.
How do you know that it's your heart that's
don't-
fluttering?
it's right here.
Sometimes when I'm running, I'll feel like I could feel like a
Your heart's full of
blockage or
butterflies.
something.
Yeah,
fucking-
yeah.
You can feel a blockage.
I can feel like something move through sometimes.
Really?
Where I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
ooh, like
Where it's
kinda-
just a big beat.
almost like no, it's,
It's a big
beat.
kick drum.
Yeah,
It's
kind,
the 808.
kind of like that, and they're
Oh.
like I don't know. It's weird. I've talked
That's
to the doctor about it
anxiety.
too. Where no, like I'll be running and I'll feel like something kind of fucking.
Like just.
How can
like
you
a,
feel a
um,
thing and not and know that it's not just like a muscular skeletal?
Which it
situation?
definitely could be.
Yeah,
Could be,
you're
but it's
right,
just
I
a
don't
weird
know.
feeling here and there, you know.
I just I think I checked my blood pressure. It's been pretty regular, so it's been good.
I check mine.
But I got back
twice
on
a
the-
day now.
I
have
got
to
back on
chart
the
it.
Juul, so like I'm probably
Oh, I quit that.
I got to get off
Nice,
that
good.
again.
I was smoking when I was here last.
I started during the move. My dad and his wife came down. They smoke, and I fucking started bombing. And
Oh,
then-
you had stopped?
Yeah, I
you
was on
stopped
the. I
completely?
went and bought another
He
Juul.
quits, but he can never not bum when people are around him with cigarettes.
So you don't
True,
really
that's
quit.
a hard
Yeah,
part.
you're
of
right.
it.
You're right. So,
That was the thing before I got sick. A week before, 4 days before, I quit smoking.
Mm. You know what? And maybe that. You know, no, I feel you.
All the gunk just
Yeah, it-
wasn't there anymore.
Right, and then your body goes, "Oh, now we can address this other shit."
Do they have
'Cause,
your
like,
blood pressure under
same
control?
with
Yeah,
when
go
I
ahead.
quit drinking, all of a sudden my health just went like I started having kidney stones and
Dude,
all this shit.
Yeah, I
That's
remember
what they
my
that.
say.
body
I
was
remember
just
when
like,
you passed a stone.
Yeah, my body
How
was
how
just
big
like,
of an how bad of an alcoholic were you?
pretty
How much
bad.
did you drink? Were you a daily guy?
Yeah, probably
Okay.
like I mean minimum like 4 to 5.
A
But
day.
he would
Yeah.
get
Okay.
like blacked out.
I would get
hardcore
blacked
drunk
out
a lot.
regularly.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the amount of cigarette smoking usually well eclipses the amount of drinking somebody can do.
Oh,
Yes,
totally.
You feel me?
So,
Yes,
yep,
yes,
yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
So that's why I'm asking. So like, and that was the thing. A week into my aftercare therapy, which I'm still going for because they have to make sure for about I think I might be done with it now, but for about a month, there's a good chance that infection could still hang out.
come
and,
back.
You guys want to
Yeah.
make sure it
come back
stays
because
away.
there's still holes that are still open inside. me.
Right.
Oh, wow,
On-
okay.
like some of these are not
They gotta
fully.
watch the healing.
And you
make
gotta
sure it
you,
works out.
you gotta be showering and
So-
taking care and cleaning.
Yeah, I mean, showering's something we should all do anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
You should be showering,
What
Chase.
a weird thing to tell a grown man.
Hey, you need to shower.
Dude, I'm here for you, bro. I got
love it.
all the advice in the
Oh,
world.
You can come
Hey.
over, get in his hot tub.
I got
rinse
chlorine,
off.
bro. Come get
Chlorine.
clean.
Seal
I'll
it.
put an extra scoop in before you come in.
So my doctor tells me the same
We'll
thing.
shock that motherfucker.
Just clean it out with chlorine. The doctor tells me exactly what you just said. He's like, well, you're not feeling really going to feel good from smoking for months because you're actually going to feel worse
Right.
from your body is just like when you smoke or when you drink or when you abuse anything like that, your immune system is depleted.
Yeah.
It's
like
fighting
way
that.
down here.
Yeah.
No, it's not even doing that.
No.
It doesn't. It's just like you don't like me, I don't like you.
Right.
So fuck you then.
I'm
Fuck,
busy.
you're saying fuck you and putting
Right.
that shit in me?
Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
you.
Okay, I ain't
And-
gonna
and
do
hey,
my job either.
I'm not even that dude because I might start smoking again at some point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
even. I don't give myself that much credit.
That's fair. No,
I don't
same.
stick
I'm,
to shit.
I'm saying, mate, dude, I'm fucking worse with fucking sticking with shit.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It's
Ugh,
like it's not a.
man.
It is what it is. I'm a firm believer in that. And like, hey, man, whatever gets you through.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're not like hurting other people. And,
Right. Right.
you
I
know,
agree. I agree, dude.
Whatever
I agree.
it is, so I'm not like that, but I will say that I didn't know that. I didn't know that my immune system was basically just not working. while I was smoking.
Well,
taking a real
it was
dive.
like my doctor was talking about smoking and was saying how even if you only have one a day or something, like all that does is reactivates it.
Yep.
It's not
Yeah.
like your body's cleaning itself out
Yep.
when you're not smoking. It's just keeping that on the line of going, okay, it's still the little fuck you
Yeah.
to your immunity.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So yeah, technically no, I haven't stopped smoking.
I quit smoking
Why?
6 or 7 years ago. And I don't feel like I ever it never changed how I felt.
Never.
I never felt better than I did while I was smoking. You know,
Yeah,
people say
that's
like
true.
they go after a month they start coughing up all the chunks or whatever.
I think
Yeah.
people just
That
say
never
to be
happened
cool.
for me. I don't know.
I cough up chunks sometimes. In the
Well,
morning.
how much did you smoke? Were you heavy?
I fluctuated. I think by the time I quit, I was at the point for a few years where I would only smoke. I wouldn't smoke during the day. I'd smoke at the end of the night when I'm having a few beers or
Right.
whatever.
okay,
You were,
okay.
you were
Yeah.
kind of more of a social smoker.
And I wouldn't like get up. I don't need a cigarette when I wake up. I was very rarely that kind of smoker.
Yeah, I
so-
mean, I was at the end of mine, and probably for the last 15 years of mine, I was at least a pack and a half, sometimes 2 packs.
In the
that's a
day,
lot of
yeah,
cigarettes.
it
Yeah,
is.
Oh, I
cigarettes.
mean, it was
Yeah.
constant.
that's a lot of eggplants
Yeah,
worth it.
that's right.
True.
The
Tobacco.
eggplants,
Yeah.
full of
Kilograms.
nicotine.
Kilos.
You were smoking.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that you are back and
That's
on the
hey,
right
Rob
track and
Sonic
healthy
ready
and
again.
ready.
Still ready.
Go back at
You
it.
got a car right now?
I do. Yeah.
You want to come over?
And just hang out in your hot tub in
Yeah.
Gresham? Yes.
Okay.
You guys want to talk
I'm gonna
some entertainment stuff here real quick
Yeah,
before we get out
I
of
don't
here?
know where this went. Is this?
Ah.
No, I think it was
No,
good. It
no,
was
that's
it was
good.
I wanted to hear your
Educational?
story, so I'm
No,
glad we
this
got
is
to hear it.
awesome.
I
Wait,
ruined it. You guys are never gonna. He's like, that guy's a fucking buzzkill.
I know.
know.
I want to know.
Yeah, I
Get
really
him the
really
fuck
wanted to
outta
hear
here.
it.
And
I
then we
wanted-
got the inside scoop. We get to let the people hear it from your words.
And I
of
don't wanna
what-
be
what
like,
happened.
I don't want to fucking slide into your DMs like, "Hey, Sonic, are you okay?" You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
that-
know,
that-
Are
that-
you okay?
That was crazy. Like that was
like I
awkward for
do,
me.
but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't
no,
wanna
no,
be like,
no. I and that's cool. Like I think that when people see that like something like that, because I didn't mean to like live tweet it. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought it was going to be nothing.
Of course.
Thanks a lot. I'm out. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But I was just like, it's easier for me because I've lived in so many places to let people know
Yeah.
on a large scale
Of course.
that I'm like
Something's
something's
going on.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? But then when I started getting all the calls and like from people I might not necessarily want to
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
from again.
right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People I haven't talked to in a long time. We should catch up
Right.
after you live.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah.
that was pretty weird. So
But
I
you know
hear
what?
you.
Sometimes that's cool though, because it does. Sometimes tragedy like that does bring you back to
Put you in-
people. Or
It
sometimes
definitely-
there's
definitely.
you know there's
perspective of like,
Or
It's
like-
yeah.
It's good to know people care,
right.
but then also it's good to fucking leave me alone while I'm dealing
Right,
with
and,
my
and
shit.
that was the thing. Like that was the thing.
I
What
agree.
it did is it sort of opened my eyes to how much of a communication device social media is.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of it. Think about it. How many people are you cool with that you keep up with more on their IG?
Of course.
Right.
Like, oh, I know
No,
what he's doing.
of
I don't need to
course.
call. He's good.
Oh
He's
yeah,
good.
it
Uh-huh.
gives
Yeah.
that false sense of that you.
And
know
sometimes
it.
it's not maybe
You know
not even a
what's going
false sense. It's like that's what I am doing.
Yeah. No, I
Like-
saw, I saw you on your IG. He's good money.
But
I
then
saw-
it ruins it because when that person does call you to catch up, it's like I know what you were
Yeah,
doing.
totally.
Please don't
Yeah.
tell me about that trip I just saw
I
you
know.
take.
Yeah.
Right.
You had a
I
great
heard
time.
you were in Hawaii.
Yeah, you
there
had a
were
great-
I saw
jars
you-
full of LSD.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
the pictures.
You had a
yeah.
great time, bro.
I don't need to hear it.
You had
from
a
ya.
girlfriend with a Jaguar. And you-
Portuguese girlfriend.
Oh,
Where are you guys at on Stranger Things?
Done.
I didn't, I think we talked about this. I went through season 1 and that was it.
Yeah.
I didn't go. So,
You
So
weren't ready for
I
that.
turns out
I'm
in
like
the same
that meme
ballpark.
of the guy fading right now.
No, turns
All
out
into the bush.
I was like, "Hey, babe, fucking season 3's out. Let's watch it." Turns out, didn't watch season 2.
This is a familiar story.
yeah, like
with
this
you.
happens to you with every
It's
show.
just like,
You
You-
watched it.
nah, I
You
don't
did
know.
watch it because we talked about it when it happened.
Don't
but
think I did.
you don't remember it because you slept through most of it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I have a thing about turning on a show and I'm out like a light.
Like time to watch TV. Eyes
To
closed.
Kafazan.
Yeah, and I'm out like a light. Hey,
Well, we're not gonna spoil anything for those who haven't seen
No.
it yet. It's
All I
still-
know
Wait,
is
is it still in spoiler territory?
yeah.
I think so. A week
it's been out
ago.
for a week.
Well, I
Oh.
don't want to know because I do want
And
to
the-
see.
Yeah, and I don't
people
want
haven't seen
I
it.
just don't want to spoil it for anybody. I will say that I loved every minute of it.
This season in particular, I thought
It's
was really
but it's
good.
never been bad, right?
No.
No.
Like this hasn't been a
And
No,
bad
there was some
season
weird
of that.
stuff in season 2 that threw people off a little bit. But to me, this season was perfect.
It went much darker than the previous.
It got
seasons.
darker. It got more
a lot
gory.
more horror-ish.
yeah, more
yes,
horror elements. but
rather
it was
than just the sci-fi.
funny as
kicks.
fuck to me.
All I
Like,
gotta say is the girl boy.
I thought you didn't see it. And who's
Well,
the
I-
girl boy.
I watched season.
he thought 11 was a boy the whole
Oh,
time.
fuck off.
So
What?
this
he-
girl
I
had
watched one season. I knew she was.
this
a girl.
girl has hair, and I was like, "Who's that boy?" And like he was like, "That's the fucking girl." I was like, "She still looks like a boy to me. I can't fucking
How
wrap
are you
my.
such an idiot.
I just
so
can't wrap my
weird.
fucking brain.
weird.
So you're gonna like mentally block the fact
I
that
suck.
you know?
I don't know.
That's
It's like
like-
it fucks with me.
That's kind of xenophobic of you.
No,
But, you know.
Jesus
and
Christ.
also
It
it's
really
a
is.
strange battle to pick. but,
Why do
you know,
why do you assume gender roles, Chase?
why?
Why can't you accept the way that she identifies?
No, I
That's-
love it. She's a girl.
It's who she is.
Yeah, I know, but she looks like a guy to me.
I am
And it's okay. I don't mean anything bad by it.
I'm an absolute sucker for 80s nostalgia, and
Oh, same.
the Duffer Brothers do this better than anybody.
Yeah. No,
I
the
freaked
way that
out.
it was, even just watching the first series. I was-
This won't spoil anything, but they have the Gravitron in it.
Yeah.
And the Gravitron fucking was my childhood, man.
What was the Gravitron?
It was
again?
the fucking fair ride
You
where
get in, it
it's like a
spins.
Oh, yeah,
UFO
you
and you're
against
sticking
the
to the
wall.
wall.
You stick to the wall.
Against the wall.
Like when you're inside, you don't really feel
Against
like
the
you're
wall.
spinning. You just
Man,
feel like
You're
you're.
so-
Black lights
Hey, here's
and like
something.
black
Oh,
light
yeah.
paint.
There, I went on one of those once on a school trip, and I purposely got opposite of this chick I had a crush on, so I could see her boobs flatten out.
Oh yeah, I remember doing
Yeah,
that.
dude, come on,
Wow,
man. You could-
wow,
oh.
wow.
Yeah.
Watching the waves ripple.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh man, her shirt's
Fantastic.
like, because it would definitely, if she had a low cut shirt, it would open that bad boy.
And there
out.
was
Right.
a guy controlling it in the center. that would
Yes.
be
He was like the
quit
D-
fucking around.
And
He's
they
like
had-
the DJ.
And they had a DJ. Yeah.
yeah, because
dude.
if you
That's what I'm
like took a
talking about.
penny out of your pocket, you could fuck
oh
somebody
yeah, and he'd be
up.
like, dude, do not. Like,
Don't
he'd
do
want
it. I'll
you-
stop
yeah.
the ride.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah, people start trying to climb up
Get
the wall.
upside
You
down
know,
and
that's
shit.
what I see you as,
Oh, what?
a carny.
Oh, dude, I would love to be
But
on
not
the
just
circuit.
not just a carney, a game running carny,
Right.
like a ride
A ride
operating.
carny.
Oh,
carny.
dude.
Those guys are next level.
Oh,
You don't really.
You
talk
guys
to
want to
them.
go fast? Whoosh! I'll
Yeah.
fucking spin the
They're-
cage.
They're the less social
Yeah.
of the carny.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You know,
They're the enemy to the carnival goer.
I'll push
Right.
I'll push
Mm.
buttons and turn knobs all fucking day,
like a Coney Island.
dude.
like you see those guys. They're like smoking all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
The
I'm not that guy,
the
am I?
Barkers and the guys running the
I'm not
the
so much a
games,
barker.
Yeah, there's
Right,
like,
those
"Come
guys
on,
have
step
to
right
interact.
up."
They
You're
have
more of a
to-
barker.
No, they're
Well,
salesmen. They're
Yeah, they're
salesmen.
more salesmen.
You could be a barker.
Yeah, I could totally be a barker.
Yeah.
Step right up.
Right.
Bob Barker.
Guess my
We've
weight.
got,
Guess
guess
my
my
weight.
7,000 pounds. Only all 5'3".
Guess my
You
weight.
fucking asshole.
I've never played that game.
Oh man. Let's play who can eat the most corn dogs in a minute.
Yeah,
Oh,
did you
I
guys
win.
ever do that?
Oh.
Like, did you ever go
Eat
and
hella
get your,
corn dogs?
your weight guess?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fucked up.
I don't
yeah,
think
but
I
I
ever
was
did that.
young.
I did it.
And they'd get you.
They do it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
know.
I don't. What
I
They
don't know
don't
how
make
it-
you guess their weight.
I think there's
though.
like a secret scale. Like,
Yeah,
They're just-
there is
they're
a-
just
there is a
weighing
trick
ya.
to it.
That's what
'cause
it
you,
is.
Gotta be.
You step up,
Yeah.
they got a secret thing. They got a fucking little barometer or
All right.
whatever.
you
there
guys
that's
remember the
telling
slide
ya.
with the sack potato thing?
Yeah, that's in this
Sh-
Stranger Things.
That's a good
too.
one. And then
Remember
the
the zipper?
scary one.
Oh, the zipper. Yeah, that's. I
Zipper.
never
Zip.
got on the zipper.
Really? I love the
I,
zipper.
I waited until I
love
was
the
older. I was like, I'll wait till I'm in 6th grade, and then it was fucking awesome.
Okay, and then the ring of fire.
What?
Don't know that one.
You
Oh
ever
no,
fuck with the
that's
ring?
later though.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
You're-
fucking-
you're
That's
a
a
90s
later
you're a
one.
90s
yeah,
kid.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
80s,
No, the
bro.
zipper was on the money.
I
The
love
You
the
probably
zipper.
had the updated Gravitron too.
No,
The
no, I
spider.
remember the old one.
The
Spider,
spider was
aka
always
the
in-
octopus.
Oh yeah,
Octopus.
It would,
Spider.
it would do the shifting.
Holy
the
shit, I love that.
Himalaya,
Oh,
which
no,
was
no,
just
no.
went around in circles.
Right.
All right. Man,
I knew
I
something
want to go to
of
the
that.
fucking fair.
Eat a corn dog.
Well, watch
Yeah.
Stranger Things because
It puts you there.
It's very immersive.
Sounds fun, man.
It is.
I gotta finish season
dude,
2.
and the fucking mall.
we don't have TV.
Dude, the mall.
We don't have
mall.
internet
The
yet.
mall was killer.
I was like, I would not be surprised if this revamps the malls. So
Did you
people
buy
are
a
like,
house
I'm going to
without
the
internet?
mall again.
It won't.
Comcast
He just hasn't
can
got it
suck my
installed yet.
fucking nutsack.
You bought a house
Chase
without
is still
internet?
there.
We put in a transfer. We're moving. We need to transfer our service, right? And they're like, we'll be there on Saturday. So we get fucking, dude. All the vultures are out. You buy a house, you just get fucked.
All the
Vultures
fuck-
are out.
ADT. came
Oh,
knocking.
dude, all the
What?
vultures
Got
are
fucking
out.
home
Oh, because
security.
yeah,
Because you
they-
gotta
fucking-
buy
The
everything.
fucking bug man came
You-
out. I was
oh,
like,
did
get
you think
fuck out.
buying a house was gonna be cheap
the- Oh,
or something?
fuck.
I like how you refer to people that are like on your side as vultures.
Vultures.
Fuck all
the
of
people
them.
trying to protect you, get you the services you need.
Fuck you.
vultures.
I got a gun and a fucking get
You're
the
gonna shoot your ants.
Shoot my ants.
I don't
Got an
need
ant
you,
problem?
Orchid Man. I've got a
I've got a
gun.
gun. I'll shoot a
I
spider.
got pissed. I'll piss on the goddamn ants. And fuck, I got a can of gasoline. Fucking light them on fire, dude. I don't give a shit. Anyways, so Comcast, we put in the transfer. We give them a call because we're like, hey, are we still on for Saturday? They're like, oh no, we didn't. We saw that you put something in, but nah, it didn't go through. Can't be out there till next Thursday.
Wow.
I've been living in fucking Silentville with a baby and a.
So you still have no internet.
Still no internet.
Well, I'm not coming over then.
No,
That
I have
sounds like
Wi-Fi.
bullshit.
Yeah. Wait, are you gonna have us all over?
Yeah, tonight.
When you have internet.
Oh my god, you guys! What the fuck? You have
Yeah,
fucking.
We're gonna have to
What are we gonna
postpone this until you have
like what are we gonna do
What
over
you want to
there?
talk?
Yeah,
What are you-
we'll have a
what are we
fire.
gonna
Well,
do,
we're talking
bro?
now,
Like,
man.
Oh my god! Fuck off! Jesus Christ!
We're just gonna.
I
be
got a
like,
DVD player and I
Gresham
got
hot
fucking.
tub.
A DVD player. What do you got?
old school and
Sandler
Happy Gilmore.
Sandler movies.
Yeah, the Big Bang Theory. Dude, I got Game of Thrones not in HD. Let's
Oh, what
watch
about
it.
that? That ended since we last talked.
Did it?
Yeah,
Game of
it's,
Thrones.
it's old news, Sonic. Jesus
Oh, you
Christ.
guys already covered
We've
it.
covered some Game of Thrones, you know. But
Of
what did
course.
you think?
Triple P Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So what-
Were you disappointed like a lot of people
Completely.
were?
Really?
Completely.
Yeah, of
Really?
course you were.
Yeah.
You're an East
Yeah.
Coaster.
Well, what even? I don't know.
You're an East Coaster.
What were we rooting for something?
You're
else?
mad about
I
everything.
kind of
I
took
well,
the stance
okay,
of,
I hear
of
you.
whatever, it's fine. This
I
is
just
how they ended
the,
it.
those last 4 episodes were they just I feel like the writers smoked crack.
They're just like, fuck
They
it.
were like, okay, this mental problem of Daenerys is gonna really reveal itself in the last 2 or 3 episodes. She's just
Yeah.
gonna, she's sort of not gonna lose it when her friend's head gets chopped off, but then
But it's
she's
gonna-
really gonna lose it when she hears those bells.
because
Right.
it's the beginning of Hell's Bells by AC/DC. She's like, oh, it's time to wreck shop.
Right. So that was crazy. And then why wouldn't you just have some sort of, and I guess they were wrapping, it was very evident to me that they were wrapping up.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
absolutely.
That's
and,
the way to put it.
and you're right about it. Did you check out the documentary they put out afterwards?
I didn't.
It's cool.
It's pretty interesting because it's like, granted, regardless of how you feel about how it ended or how the writing was, like the sheer scope of that project and that
Sure.
last season is crazy. So the documentary is just all the people on the crew that are all having to do it. It gave me some interesting perspective of like people say in the film, the crew is like, it couldn't get it can't get bigger. We can't keep doing this. It's a fucking nightmare.
It had to end.
Right.
Right.
They're like,
and
"We
that's
gotta
what
fucking
that's
wrap
what I felt. I felt like they didn't, if you go any other way, and I was upset about it, but any of my kind of scenarios would have extended that show.
Right.
You
Right.
feel me?
Yeah.
At least
And
for a
that's
little
what
while.
everybody's kind of was.
Yeah. So I guess they did.
And anybody who was paying close enough attention knows that the writing of the show went downhill when they ran out of source material.
Once they passed the
Right,
books.
right.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely
I didn't.
was like,
I
okay,
was
now we're
okay with
speeding
it
up.
still. I was
Yeah.
okay with it still. I didn't like that thing at the end with the where some sort of diplomacy was going on between because they had like severed all the bad people out of the
Right, right.
the belly of the beast where had
Yeah,
lost its head.
They eliminated all the bad people.
All the bad
So
people.
now it's just good people making
Even if they were
decisions.
sort of like aligned with good things like Daenerys.
Right.
She was essentially a terrible person.
She
know.
murdered a lot of people.
Right. but very quickly and in one episode.
Yeah.
The
just-
rest of the time, well, you would never want somebody else
No.
but her to be your friend.
She was the
was-
Christ.
overnight
Yeah.
genocide.
Dude, she
Crazy.
went from savior to hater.
Real quick.
It's a real hater, that Daenerys.
Real
Stormborn.
She's a real bitch, that Daenerys.
She did.
I saw Spider-Man. Have you guys seen Spider-Man?
Far From
yet?
Home? No, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not in the
no.
Spider-Verse.
I'm
Is
not a
that it?
huge Spider-Verse
Verse
guy
guy,
either.
yeah.
I
Um,
liked Spider Verse a lot,
You
but
would.
you know, I'm.
But
a
I enjoyed the
Spider-Man
movie.
Guy.
I liked the movie. It was pretty fun.
I still haven't seen Endgame.
Yeah, you
I
still
haven't seen that, but I did see the one before it.
Yeah, me too.
Infinity
Infinity
War.
War.
Infinity
You
War.
definitely have to see Endgame before you see Spider-Man because it's all
It's all
Spoiler.
together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
Infinity. Why would I even talk about this?
It's fine.
Oh God!
It was dope.
Have you
I
heard?
just
of it?
woke up from a coma.
No, Infinity War is great though. I feel
Old
like
news. Moving on.
Infinity
Right,
War, I
yeah.
think, impacted me more than Endgame. Like Infinity War, I was like,
that fucked me
"Holy
up,
shit."
dude. I was like, what?
Yeah, really
Really?
delves into it. But then with Endgame, I mean, kind of like a Game of Thrones effect, in my opinion, where they're like, okay, we got to wrap this all up. Like, here's the bow
Is that
on it.
going to be it for
and-
the Avengers?
No.
No,
No, they're going to
absolutely
continue in
not.
other ways for sure. But there are some things that happen that alter how it'll go forward.
Okay.
Like,
They you know what they did in Spider-Man without really talking about the movie, which whatever. It starts a little slow. It's kind of weird in the middle, and then the third act is fantastic. Just
interesting.
action and fun and funny and all that. But the during credits scene, so the movie ends, then there's a scene during the credits, and then there's an after credits scene.
Right.
The mid credits scene did something huge and like really important
Really.
to the story, but it wasn't in the movie. It was just the mid credits scene. It's
I
kind
don't
of
like how they do that.
interesting to
When
Well,
my movie
because
You don't
ends,
like
I
that
want to
setup.
leave.
You don't like that assist, huh?
No, I just want to leave.
No, dude, if you
Movie
go to
over,
the
I
movies
wanna
with
go.
him, as soon
He
as
gets
the
so
movie
mad
You're one
when
of
we
those
stay.
guys. You're like out like as soon as.
Yeah, I
Okay,
gotta-
let's go.
Yeah,
like
I
it's a
gotta
fucking
pee.
like it's
Fun's
an
over.
airplane. Like it's
Yeah.
an airplane that
He-
landed. He's standing
he
up.
he yells at
Oh,
us.
damn.
He yells at us
Go.
for staying to
That's a
see
very
the.
East Coast mentality. There.
Time to go.
I
Yeah.
think
The movie's over.
The best
Like,
thing in New York is landing on a plane in New York. Like people are just up.
Out.
I'm
Yeah,
out.
let's
Like
go.
yeah, they're trying to open the door.
Yeah, I like
Right.
that.
Like, come on,
That's-
we are down here.
I like
Get
that.
me
Yeah, let's
out.
go.
I got a
It's time to
plane
go.
to
I got
not
things to
catch.
do. Yeah,
I have to uncatch this. I got
Right.
a plane to uncatch.
Like,
I got boxes to unpack. Let's go.
Well, that's good. I mean,
You know,
but
it's
with
not-
these movies in particular, you know that the
I need to
credits
relax.
aren't the end.
kind of
little
all
high-strung.
movies now, right?
Just
More and more, but
Oh.
Marvel for sure.
yeah,
Shit,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
one
Except
you
with the
expect.
exception being Endgame.
I've
There's no
never-
after credits scene.
I've never fucking sat through a credits of a movie in my life, and then I go see a movie with these guys, and they're just sitting there. I'm like, well, let's fucking go. Like, I gotta piss. I'm hungry. You know,
You didn't eat any of the popcorn.
I
in the
did,
movie?
but
Okay,
it,
you're
it got me warmed up.
He ate the popcorn. He ate a pack of red vines. He had some fucking juji fruits.
He's like, I'm hungry.
Why those things?
Oh, dude.
I made up the juji fruits.
He'll
Yeah.
sneak
I
in
wish
some
it would've been
gummies
Juju
though.
fruit.
No, but I'm a red vine fucking
Jujubes.
connoisseur.
Remember those?
Jujubes.
This
Jujubes.
festival.
The jujubes weren't even like chewy.
Oh man, I'll eat them.
They were tough. It
I
was,
don't
like-
it's
weird.
like
Yeah, they-
biting into
Dots.
a rubber band.
They had,
some
a,
dots.
they had a 5-pound tub of red vine at this festival yesterday. I fucked that thing up. I even took some home for the drive home.
Wait, did
I was fucking. I'm a great Bambino.
You're gonna get fucking
Just
Vinabetes.
fucking eating them.
I'm the
Fine,
great
I'm eating this.
Bambino.
He thinks he's fucking great
Babe Ruth?
Bambino for some reason.
He didn't eat red
That's
vines.
from
He wore-
Sandlot.
Oh,
From
is
Sandlot,
it
they're like
really?
pretending to.
That Sandlot movie, it haunts me, man. I'm
Yeah.
gonna see it one day.
I've never
seen it,
What
but it
the
haunts
fuck?
me.
You
People
guys
use things
get
like "You're
outta
killing
here."
me, Smalls,"
Killing me,
and I'm
Smalls.
just like, "Aha!"
Get out of here.
I'm like
dude.
that guy.
can't be
Again,
They're
I'm-
making-
I'm very meme-like.
Well, you
know,
guys
like,
should maybe see it. They're making a sequel that's about it's them now.
Sandlot 2. We're like,
Sandlot
are you
2.
bored?
No, I just got sleepy,
Sandlot 2, Electric
just-
Boogaloo.
Exactly.
dude. So they had sub sandwiches. I ate the fuck out of those.
Oh, we're talking about.
Still
Snacks.
the festival.
Dude, festival snacks are the best. Yeah.
Nah, I don't know.
No, no.
I've had one. I've had some really poorly catered festivals in my
That's
career.
what they did well, man. Hairfest, they did it well.
No,
Hairfest
did you
really
get?
knows how to
Was this like
party.
a paying gig? Or?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sick, man.
Yeah,
That's the thing about tribute bands. You get paid.
No, I know. There's
Yeah,
there's like
they make good money. It's weird.
you know, there's a little secret I do. I stop at, you know, when I'm on tours and I'm doing them by myself, I try to stay at casinos
Yeah,
because if you join the casino,
Oh, the rewards programs.
you get
comps,
instant
shit.
discounts on rooms.
Yeah.
Most casino rooms will average you about $69 a night,
yeah,
which is
Which
as
is
cheap as a
cheap.
Motel 6,
Yeah.
and it's a casino
So
room.
it's better.
So there's this little secret to everybody out there. They're not always on the beaten trail, but
yeah.
you can save some
Find
money.
yourself a casino.
I forget the point.
Casinos, they're the way to go.
Are you
No,
guys?
but the tribute bands are always there, and
Oh,
they're
yeah,
always
yeah, they-
making money.
Right.
Yeah.
Making
Getting
money,
paid.
dude.
Skrill.
It's a weird
True.
circuit.
That
know?
casino.
Have you guys watched the Wu Tang
I do like it.
documentary
I didn't even know
Yet?
this was. a
I
thing.
watched pieces of it.
No,
but,
is it a
Uh,
Netflix?
of Mike's and Men? It's on Showtime.
It's on Showtime.
of
Oh,
Mike's
wow.
and
I don't have
Men.
that.
I heard it's amazing. Did you?
I
watch it?
haven't watched it yet, but I there's that, and then there's a Wu Tang series coming out on Hulu.
What?
Really?
That
Yeah.
Wu-Tang's hot right
What,
now.
what
Dude, Wu Tang is
about?
hot right now.
What was the
They're on
series
fire.
about? Is it
Dude,
like
watch the trailer.
documentary?
It's a real drama based on Wu Tang.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
shit.
they're
Really?
ongoing. I remember seeing clips of it years ago.
Because their story is nuts.
Is it
and
like
it's
the
deep.
beginning of Wu Tang?
I think so. I haven't. It's not out yet, so I haven't. I can't say.
Okay, well, the Showtime one was sort of them dealing with
like
the success, right?
right because there was a bunch of splitting and like
yeah,
As
like,
there
there's some-
always
there's
is.
some in-depth stuff going on there that none of us would know.
Yeah.
So it does
I
make
gotta
sense
see
to make a
that.
documentary
I
out
gotta
of it.
see that.
The series they cast actors to play RZA, Jizza, Method Man, Ghostface,
really?
ODB. They did a really good
Really?
job just in the trailer. They actually did a good job of finding people that looked like him, but also
That's
the
crazy.
guy playing ODB like makes this face at one point, and I was like, holy shit, that's ODB.
Well,
Really?
That's
Yeah.
tight.
So they got
That's tight.
You God and
That's
Master
crazy.
Killa.
You know, it's
Better-
funny. I think they
Capadonna?
mentioned
Capadonna?
like 7 guys
Right.
in the trailer, and I'm like, does that mean they're leaving the other ones out, or are they just like not?
Those guys
as
were never
important
like
to the
like,
story.
How many?
Official
Is
is
it
weird.
official 11?
It was 9.
9 officially.
Yeah, 9 plus Capadonna.
He's official though.
No.
Right?
Well,
No.
he is, but he wasn't part of the official 9.
He
'cause
wasn't
He was
the
locked up.
The
when
right.
shit
Okay.
came out or
so he
whatever.
would have been on.
It would have been the
stuff.
10
Right,
probably.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
All right.
I don't know.
You know
and
what
then
was
there's
weird?
all the affiliates. Killa Bee.
Well, and then even like Redman is
I'll
like
be honest with
kind
you,
of official Wu Tang.
well, right, with him and Meth are definitely a force.
Yeah.
But you know what's weird about that is that record and Enter the Stage came out at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was more into Black Moon.
Black Moon.
You know,
Of course.
that was an
That
ill
was-
time in New York, guys.
It was so good. Dude,
Wu Tang
Buck-
Clan was like
Buckshot?
80 deep
Oh my
at
god,
their
dude, I bet it
shows.
was so fucking
Holy moly!
so tight.
Yeah, but
Holy
rowdy
cow.
as fuck.
It was, it's just hard to explain.
Yeah. It
Like
was-
you had to be
you
there.
had to be there.
It's
type
crazy
situation.
seeing that many dudes. MOP used to be the same way. We used to roll deep to like Tramps and wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I can say. You just be like, holy, these shows are crazy.
Yeah.
But see,
There's
was
something here.
now Boot Camp Click? They
That's so
rolled
tight, you
probably
gotta see
just
that
as
shit.
deep though, right?
Yeah, everybody.
yeah.
It was, like he says it, like ODB. Crews be acting like gangs anyway. It was legit like that. It was like squads just rolling and posting up and repping their crew,
That's wild.
yeah.
and that was just.
Well,
Early 90s hip hop right there, like transitioning out of the 80s. And, it was just
Grimy as
New
fuck.
Yeah,
York,
get
it was
more
just
grimy.
And wonderful.
grimy and
Was so-
wonderful
was
and
so
dangerous
goddamn
as
dope.
fuck.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
dude.
Culminated into a lot of things.
bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
it
gotta
was
see that.
definitely an
All right,
interesting thing.
Showtime. Once I get internet.
Dude, the documentary, but that after seeing that trailer, I'm super excited for that series. Man,
That's interesting.
because it looks tight.
I'm gonna see the show watch the full because I've seen like little
Showtime
clips
thing.
of the Showtime thing, and I'm definitely gonna watch the.
Yeah, I didn't
Wu
even
Tang
know
and
about it.
American Saga. That's what the series is
An
called.
American
Wow.
Saga. Protect
Wow.
your neck.
Just protect your
Indeed.
neck.
Huh. Well, I gotta see it. Exciting news. Everybody's just blown away.
I mean, what you say, protect your neck? We're all just sort of watching each other.
Has anybody watching the series that are like kind of going on right now on HBO? There's a few different ones that are all going on.
What are they? Oh,
Uh,
Chernobyl.
I finished that.
Chernobyl.
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 I haven't watched Chernobyl.
I watched
yet.
the first episode of it.
People
awesome.
are liking Euphoria.
I watched the first episode of
heard that's good.
Euphoria, and then there's this one called Years and Years.
Yeah, I just noticed.
I watched the first episode of both. Lots of gay.
Right.
This actually got me thinking. I was like, at what point does representation transform into exploitation?
Exploitation. Sure.
Right.
Well, I think that is that's sort of been around. I feel like
And that's
like
when it's
there are the
people-
token gay characters, right? Am I right?
Yeah, and
yeah.
that's when people that are outside of that perspective are then trying to write it, I suppose, is kind
Yeah.
of how that happens.
Which would probably not be the best
right?
for that kind
Some
of situation.
some middle-aged white guy like, I gotta write a series about lesbians.
Well, George R.R. Martin wrote incest pretty well, so I'm
Well,
assuming he's an outsider.
Write what
Are
you know,
we?
they
We
say.
don't know.
Write what you know.
we don't.
Years and Years.
Oh.
Here's the thing. The first episode, I was I was pushing through. I was like, this is not for me. You know what I mean? Like this, but then they always do this, man. The end of the episode, the last 5 minutes or so, is like, holy
Like, damn,
shit.
maybe I will watch it.
And then you're like, I
Right.
have to watch the next one
Right.
now, and I didn't. I held off.
You
but-
have to think about like, let me sleep on this.
What's the premise?
I can't. I don't want to spoil
Is
it
that
because
going to spoil it?
yeah.
Okay.
Gay
okay.
dude
Right. We know that much.
has sex with another dude.
So there's prominent characters in the show who are gay, and it's just that's what it is.
They've
You know what I
known each
mean?
other for a
They
long time.
blow.
Like there's
each
straight
other.
characters in shows also. They're
Okay.
just the people involved in the show.
Okay.
And they've known each other for years and years.
Is it like lifelong friends?
It's I don't want to say anything because I think it's worth just seeing it.
okay. I'll watch it, but I gotta get in.
But yeah, there's like family dynamics and different kind of stuff like that. There's interracial dynamics, of course.
Okay, all right. Modern,
good.
modern families.
What about
Yeah.
that Spanish
Absolutely.
show on HBO now, El Spookies?
I gotta say that
Have
the
you
name
tried?
of the show bugs the shit out of me.
What?
Yeah, that just pissed me
It's
off.
what is it? Los Spooky.
I thought
right?
it was, let me see.
That's what it is. It's called
Are you
Los
guys joking?
Los
Less Spookies.
Los.
It's a comedy with
The O.
Fred Armisen.
Less. It's French.
Los.
Lemis.
And he's Mexican.
Les Spookies. Los Spookies.
Los Spookies, which I
Los.
fucking can't stand that name.
The Spookies.
That's what it means, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I don't
Spookies.
like it.
How do you say
Okay.
spooky in Spanish?
Spooky. Spookies.
It's bullshit, right?
Spookies.
Los Spookies.
I mean, spooky,
and I would imagine this
spooky
is about.
a weird word anyways,
It's
even
terrible.
in English. Spooky.
That's
Yeah, no,
Henri's
it's-
genre of hip hop.
Like
Uh,
spooky
yeah.
rap.
I could see that.
Okay.
I could see that.
Well, now that we've made
The
fun of it,
spiders.
what do you think its Rotten Tomatoes score is?
96.
100%.
It's that good.
I don't know, but
What's
I'm gonna
oh,
check
you
it
haven't.
out.
You're gonna.
I haven't watched it.
You,
I'm gonna
have
check
you
it out.
looked at Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, I just did.
what's
And
the
it's
what's the
100.
actual score?
It's
Not the percentage,
100%.
but what's the
Oh,
remember we figured
probably-
this out.
Right, so probably like a
98.
7. or something.
Probably.
100%. It's 10, right?
What?
So average audience score, is that what you're talking
It's
about?
gotta be 10, right?
The what they get the 100%.
Oh, so that means that every review has been good. Every critic review.
yes,
Five
but
stars,
that doesn't mean
every-
everybody's giving it a 10 out of 10. That's what we talked
No,
about this.
right,
remember?
exactly. So that they're giving them a positive review, but it's not necessarily. the
It
best.
is 8.7 out of 10.
Still pretty fucking
That's
high.
the actual average rating.
That's pretty good.
Pretty high. For a
Dude,
Spanish
that's
show.
Pretty
Is your mind blown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Dude, I'm all
Los-
in on the Spanish
Los
shows now.
Spooky.
I
You have
love
been
Spanish
watching
shows, bro.
Spanish shows.
Well, dude,
What,
like
Cuervo?
novellas?
like Club de Cuervos is fucking phenomenal. And then I was gonna tell you, Chase, that
Narcos, bro.
that Adam
It's the best.
Sandler movie, the murder mystery.
Yeah.
You know the Spanish guy in it, the fucking main,
Yeah.
one of the main dudes. He's the main character in Club de Cuervos.
Okay, I'm in.
He kills it, man. He's funny as fuck.
And Narcos? Is Narcos still going?
Yeah, dude.
yeah, it's
Oh,
got spin-offs.
It's
and
What
so
shit
good.
now.
happened?
So good.
I loved it when
So
it
good.
first came out, but once Pablo was sort of dealt with,
Well,
what-
People say it's still good.
They
The
s-
the
Or is he
Mexican
still in
cartel.
it?
Yeah, they
The
did.
Mexican cartel.
oh, it's gone down to the Mexican
Shit's
cartel.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
right, because isn't
Okay.
the new one
This
about
guy
like
cultivated
the
a weed.
You know what the
biggest
Mexican
grow.
cartel could be called?
weed and, huh.
Los Spookies.
Less spooky.
Less.
Los
Less
Spookies.
as spookies, guys.
Les Miserables.
Well, shit, boys. Do
More
we got
S charmings.
do we got anything else?
Oh, you're. Are
you ready to go,
wrapping
Jace?
up?
You're ready.
Are you done? You were done talking now?
I'm not. I'm just.
Are you? Are you? What are you? I mean, what's
I'm just
going
checking
on?
the vibe, dude.
Rob, you
I'm
got
the
anything?
vibrator.
You got anything coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in between weird tours and health scares. I'm definitely
You're
working
performing
on new
tonight.
music. I'm performing tonight at For the Love.
Come on now.
Is there an address?
I think it's too late. Oh, that's our address is changing. Did you know that?
Yeah.
6969
It is.
420 Kelly Ave, Portland, Oregon. 97217.
6969.
Yeah. It's too late. Nobody who's listening to this, of the four
It's
people that
gonna.
are listening,
They're not gonna slide through.
and if they are, they'll figure out.
where they are, well, they can
Right.
ping.
Or they
us.
already know.
They
Figure
can
it out.
ping us.
Yeah, ping
They're
us.
probably in the parking lot.
If you're listening right now, figure it out.
Somebody just dropped off, so they must be coming.
They're,
They're like, "Oh,
coming.
shit, I
They're
gotta
coming
go."
right away.
I didn't
But
know
yes,
what's
I'm
going
I'm
down.
performing at this thing tonight. And I'm supposed to be. I'm in the talks right now with doing a lot of the makeups from that craziness that happened earlier
okay.
on the East Coast.
Oh,
Getting
that's
back out
so,
there.
Well, I mean, I've got to. There were a lot of people that were very upset. They were
Now
just
it's
like,
hurricane season, though.
Well, that's fine.
That's fine, it's
I'm
not.
good to go.
okay
I
with
can
that.
deal with anything.
He went through the snow mountains. He can go
He
through it.
He climbed Battle
I
Mountain.
can do it. I did. I climbed Battle Mountain, and
It was fine.
it was absolutely great. I mean, the amount of times I've almost died this year is pretty intense.
You're like
It's
a cat,
lot.
dude. You're
Well,
like El Gato.
This has been right. It's
Yeah.
El
Gatos.
Spooky El
Yeah,
Gato.
spooky.
El
Yeah.
Spookios Gatos.
So I'm doing that.
Yeah,
I'm
Trey
setting
Say
that up.
Lives,
I
that is.
will definitely be at the Watertown Music Fest Fusion Fest on August 31st.
Where's that?
That is in upstate New York in Watertown. It's called the
Nice.
Watertown Fusion Fest.
Nice.
Watertown, New York is a place that I went to one time for this festival last year, and it's pretty cool.
Do they have a
Nice.
lot of?
It should
Water?
not. Yes, well, it shouldn't have the Pendleton thing shouldn't have shocked me at all.
Because
Knowing-
you're used to
because I've done Watertown Fusion
Right.
Fest, but
Is it close
I'm
to
not
like
50
Buffalo?
Cent or
Right.
But they can still find you in the
Post
club.
Malone.
Is it close to
Yes.
Buffalo?
It is. I think might be. I don't think you can go higher than Buffalo, can you?
Mm-mm.
Can't
Yeah,
go
it's up
no
there.
higher.
It's up there.
Buffalo.
I like.
I mean,
Buffalo.
Rochester.
I don't know why.
Rochester's higher. It's by
No,
Rochester.
Watertown's higher than both of them.
Really?
Than Buffalo.
Mhm.
Right on the Canadian border.
Oh yeah.
Watertown is halfway to Montreal from Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah,
So there
right
you go.
there,
We
right
are
there.
up right by the border.
I'm looking at a map. I don't know any
It's-
of these things.
It's a beautiful
I like
little
it up
town.
there. It's pretty.
It's a beautiful little town, and the thing I remember about it was that I'd really like to see the Watertown Music Fusion Fest. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
It's the
I
fuchsia.
would really Fusion Fest.
Yeah. Google.
I'd really
lilacs.
like to see it succeed
Right.
because it's like right by a river,
Yeah.
and I don't know, man.
You
the
just
the
like it.
sound, the stage was built by this guy who had been a techie for major bands in the 70s, and the sound is amazing.
He
Nice.
just fucking did acid and put together his magnum opus of a stage.
Hell
You
yeah.
know, people end up places. People in our line of work, they end up places.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
a techie for the guy who tuned Jimmy Page's guitars
Yeah.
on
Right.
tour is now living down the street in what were we talking about in Portland? That weird place.
Southeast.
Popo.
Yeah, Bopo.
Fopo?
Fopo.
Yeah. Fopo.
Yeah,
That's
Hey,
true.
you know,
true.
you know what
Lives
I'm
above
saying?
the strip club. Like,
Right.
fucking, he's got to do something.
He's settled here.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people
You know?
settled here. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So
My-
that's why I would hope that more people would come out to this Music Fusion Fest. It was well attended last year, and hopefully it'll be that way. And then
Hopefully it will grow.
I bet it will.
it will grow.
Yeah.
And then
If you
I am
plant it.
gonna try and run down the East Coast, hit all the places that I wasn't able to get to because of 2019's
I mean,
terrible
hopefully,
winter.
you can go see like friends and family too. when you're-
Oh yeah. Well, they're in the mix.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be good, man. You had to go through this shit. You had to, take that time out and fucking.
You got to take some L's
I
to
mean,
spell
yes.
wellness.
Yes, you do. yes, you do.
Absolutely
you get
true.
one,
God,
and
dog.
usually it's more L's than W's for your wellness.
Right.
Hey, you guys know the cell phone wars are heating up.
Oh,
What do you mean?
Man, they're these devices. They're evolving. They're changing. These companies are trying to keep up with each other. They're switching how the cameras work and where the cameras are, where the lenses are. They're trying to put things under the glass so you don't have to see them anymore.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I know, I'm-
cameras. The cameras. They're putting them underneath the glass.
So you don't see the lens?
Whoa.
Well, they've been doing that the whole time. They're watching us now.
Well,
The whole time.
is
Dude, it was the notch. See the top of my phone where the little thing comes
Yeah,
down. That's
I
been
have
a,
that too.
I have that
a
too.
huge point of contention for a lot of people in the recent years. Are like, why do we have to have a notch? Can't you get rid of the notch?
Yeah, phone companies get rid of the notch.
It's the stupidest thing
tired of-
people are mad about.
tired of seeing
But it's
my
a thing,
phone.
and the companies are figuring out how to put the camera.
Well, there
underneath
should be
the
no
screen.
notch.
Yeah,
It's fucking stupid.
I'm so
The next
tired there
generation of
being
that
a
phone-
camera.
will not have that.
I don't
notch.
like that, man. I
No
don't like
notch.
that because that means they can put a camera anywhere. You're not gonna see it. You're not gonna know they're watching you, man. They're fucking the camera.
Well, you're going to know because it's a smartphone, and so you know it has a camera.
the camera's on all the time, anyways.
That's what I'm saying.
It's fucking
You,
true.
you already know.
They've fucking proven it.
You know what, guys? Notch knows.
Notch knows.
The
But-
Nachos.
The nachos.
If you want to
Sounds
keep
so
up
good right now.
with
Oh,
these
yeah.
cell phone wars and
Yeah.
what's going on in technology,
I'm gonna make myself a nice
you can always
nacho.
check out my other podcast, Awesome and Not Stupid.
Oh
Dude,
wow,
nice
nice
You
one.
have another
one.
podcast?
Yeah, I do.
How many podcasts do you
He's
do
got
a week?
100.
I have 3 that I do. One of them that I'm just part of,
He's
Yeah.
a
and this one and the
podcast,
other one that
like, he's like an OG.
I produce.
You're an OG podcaster,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
I wish. I
Those
wish I would have gotten in the game 5 years earlier than I
Podcasts.
did.
It's a big
Venom.
business now, I heard.
It's
It
huge
is.
if you
Yeah.
can get in, but now everybody does it. So
And so are you making advertising dollars and
Nope.
things like that? Now, if you were in on that level, would you be making advertising dollars right now?
Yeah.
We were on that level.
Is that what where do they get the money? Is it from the Patreon?
yeah, it's
or
from
is it
both
Patreons,
Patreons,
advertisers.
advertising.
But the podcast world is a lot like fucking the music world.
Dude, you
how
got
it
to you got
was
to
like-
tour. You got to do
There was
Yes.
that,
live shows.
yeah,
and
I
stuff.
know that.
There's that
you
element
guys tour
to it.
just as much as musicians now.
Well, we
We don't.
don't.
You will.
but
but
some we
now-
will. We
now-
will.
You guys are getting in the van with me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
We're going
Ready?
East Coast.
Let's
Yeah.
do this.
we got to go do live
We'll
a
open
live
for you.
podcast.
Just,
Yeah, we'll open up. do a
that'll
live
be the
podcast.
future too. Is fucking podcasts and YouTube personalities opening for music shows.
Exactly.
Like,
But until
Why
we're
not?
on the road,
I
awesomenotstupid.com, triplebpodcast.com. That's where you can find all the episodes and
you can give
other
us money at
information.
patreon.com.
Patreon.com/triplebpodcast.
If you want to help out Rob Sonic with his higher or lower 50 grand.
No, I stopped it.
Oh,
They
did you?
can't help me anymore.
Okay, never
Can't
mind.
help
Well, can
me.
they
I
help
didn't
you
wanna
by
do it
going
in the
to
first
They can go to your website.
Oh, yes, they can-
skypimps.bandcamp.com
they
and
can go to-
purchasing an album?
Right.
Yeah,
music.
Yeah, they can go to my Bandcamp, skypimps.bandcamp.com. They can go to my actual store and buy merch, which is deathvendor.com. I finally got that. That was kind of interesting. I had to fight to get my name
Oh, really?
back from somebody.
Somebody had it
Well, it's Death Vendor, right? DEAT, Death Vendor. Like
Death
like a
it
vendor
used
of
to
death.
be it used to be a term that people in heavily crack-ridden neighborhoods back in the 80s, they would refer to the drug dealers as death vendors,
Death
The death
vendors.
vendor. That makes sense.
death dealers.
I like that.
And
Sorry.
Well, I'm looking at you now.
so it's I guess somebody picked it up. I don't know if it was intentional, but whatever. But I had to sort of watch it for 5.5 years
Waiting for it to become
because it's
available.
actually a name of a song of mine off my second record.
Right. And you're like, I
So-
want that shit.
I go to register it, and somebody had registered it.
Like,
Right.
This is
Man,
bullshit.
that happens.
You
Well,
bastards.
there's a group out now called Plague Vendors,
and
and
they
I
took it or
wondered
something?
if they were thinking about that. Like,
Right.
we're gonna see, because Death Vendor was a legit thing that people said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darth
So-
Vader also
DarthVader.com.
similar letters.
You can hit me up at DarthVader.com.
Darth at Vader.com.
Yeah, but you doing anything? You running any marathons or taking any stairs?
Kicking asses,
No,
taking
man.
names.
Do you do a marathon?
I haven't done a full marathon yet. I've ran a marathon by myself just because I wanted to do it.
Yo, listen,
that's
we're gonna
just
talk
crazy.
we're gonna talk off the air, but I'm serious. I'll take you guys on tour with me.
We should.
Yo,
We should.
We'll-
well,
we'll
now
do the
that
Triple
I've heard
B.
how your tours
Yeah.
go, I
Yeah.
don't know.
that's
can't do
never
it.
Summer tours
got a
only.
mortgage.
never
Summer
gonna
tour.
happen again.
Got a
Yo, I
mortgage.
like had a breakdown like on Twitter about it because I was like announcing some of these shows got canceled.
Right.
Oh, it was ugly.
It's like
People were
fuck.
just giving me shit. I like lost fans.
Fuck you,
because of
bro.
it.
I already
Yeah,
paid $20.
Yeah, they were like, "You're supposed to be at the Denuden Brewery tomorrow night. What the fuck?" And I'm like, "I'm in Portland. I'm not driving across."
You're like
the,
fucking things aren't
I made
working
it out.
guys.
I made it out alive.
Yeah.
Shit happens.
Give me a
man.
break.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go easy on the
Fuck
guy.
people. But
People are
yeah,
wrong.
we'll talk about it. Let's do something. Let's do something.
People don't know what.
I'm not
hell.
up to anything. NBA 2K is going real good for me. So, you know,
I'm just trying to
that's tight.
unpack and get my life in order.
Owner Chase,
Man, it's stressful.
Father Chase.
Yeah.
Father Chase.
All right,
Father Runner.
So, how many rooms in your house?
3-bedroom, 2 bath.
You got 3 people in there right now.
Yeah. Well, a little guy and 2 humans.
You're gonna have to buy a new house soon.
Fuck off.
Not big
What are you
enough.
doing with that extra room?
Put a bed in it. Get out of here. Don't even get any
I'm
thoughts.
coming over there.
Oh,
Kid.
God.
Yeah.
I'm in your hot tub
Every
every day.
day.
Fuck
That's how I
you.
wake up.
Nah,
a
dude.
dip.
It's a 1-bedroom.
I have
tiny bath.
I will say that like I got asked yesterday at a store if I was elderly,
Yeah.
if I was a senior.
Well,
Wow, really?
I was camping with
You're
my
doing something right, buddy.
I was on a camping trip with my daughter and her friend goes, "You know how you guys were born in like the 1900s?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck you."
Dude, we are.
It's
We're
legit.
from the
Fucking
1900s.
1900s,
It's fucking
dude.
legit.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Wow,
Like
it's true.
we were born
Yeah.
in the 1900s.
Yeah, and these
Right.
kids
But
are like, "You're
We were
fucking-
born in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
I was born in the 80s.
Were you?
87,
you
baby.
Fucking doesn't that?
Wow, you're a youngin.
These guys are both pretty young.
Yeah, I was
That's
in the
crazy.
80s,
How much you
late
have
late
now?
80s.
Yeah.
Ladies.
I feel old as fuck.
But yeah, I grew up in
You guys
the
are
woods
legit
with VCRs,
millennials.
So
Yeah,
fucking
you're what are you?
32?
32. Just turned.
31.
no.
Yeah,
January.
millennial
I don't know
man.
when your birthday is.
That's why
January
it's hard with
25th.
all these
Just
people
turned.
hating on the millennials. It's like, yo, man, we got fucking.
Like, what do you want us to do?
Yeah, we
got
old.
Wait,
fucked,
what?
man.
No,
We
I
old
think you
too.
guys are okay. I just
We
I
old
think the
too.
generation after you guys,
Yeah,
like
it's different.
like the guys that are turning 20 now,
Right.
fucked.
Fuck.
Right, because there's two.
The
types.
that's the Generation Zers.
Fuck.
Right. The ones that
Fucked.
grew up because they're the
Yeah.
generation that grew up with
Yeah.
screens and tablets as babies.
Mhm.
Fucked.
Like they
The internet was
repeated
already
that.
there when they were
Yeah,
born.
the
Fucked.
internet was
Yeah.
huge. Yeah. But also like I don't know
Shit's
with,
fucked.
with my kid and their friends, I gotta say like it's an interesting perspective because they're embracing the technology and it's all fine, but then they're worried about how the older generations abuse technology and shit. It's very interesting perspectives from them.
What do you mean?
Do you guys remember the best version of the internet, like when it was like over the 56.6
Like
K-baud,
AOL.
Yeah.
K-baud
yeah.
modems? That was the best.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
128.8.
I
I'll
want to
go.
hear
I'll go
that
there.
fucking tone.
I don't know if I ever
Log
had a
in.
128.
That was ISDN.
I used to love that.
Do you
shit.
remember ISDN?
Yeah, I didn't have it.
It was $8,000 a month. That's why.
So
I
you
had a
could have
T1 line at
email.
work though, and that was what was killer.
Whoa,
Yeah.
dude! I had ISDN in my house
Wow,
in
really?
the Bronx, son,
Damn.
putting it down
On
This was like
deafjux.net.
90. Oh yeah, no, I was big on the internet before anybody. I like invested $1,500 in a HP from Sears, from Sears on,
Sears.
on Queens
Sears
Boulevard. I'm
Roebuck.
the only dude. I walk in there. I'm the only person buying a computer.
That's
Because I was like, I was married to this like early tech person, at the
Right.
time, and she was like, and I was like, well, we kind of need a car, and she was like, get a computer, you don't, the internet's coming, and I was like, what are you even talking about?
I was
I'm
gonna
like
get a
wearing,
car.
I'm like worried about like, I don't know, at the time I was like wearing like A Solo boots
Right.
and baggy pants.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck
I was
are you
wearing
talking about?
lugs.
Computer.
Fuck do I need a
Exactly.
computer for?
I need a car.
Smoke wanted me to buy an MPC, and I bought a computer instead. And he was so mad.
Yeah. Well, because what you were buying back then, crazy. Like $1,500 got me like a 516
Megabytes
megabyte
Yeah.
hard drive.
Yeah.
for your floppy disk.
Not even a gig.
Mhm.
Right.
No, this is
Sick.
before gigs.
Yeah.
There was I was like a gig.
Yeah,
Why do you
there's no
ever need
such-
that much space?
You will
That
never
wasn't-
need
what?
it.
that
You'll
wasn't
never
even-
need it.
Oh, MP3s.
Oh yeah.
Those
Well-
are right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that was. I remember when all that happened, like the DefJokes.net days.
HHI.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember when Slug used to come on
Oh, yes.
HHI every once in a while, all
Yeah.
emo about, all mad at everybody?
Oh, the message boards.
Yeah, the message boards are crazy.
Dude,
B.
hip hop message boards are how I met
UG,
Zeb.
dude,
I
yeah.
feel like UGHH is the only one
UGHH.
left.
It's still there, and I
Well,
hated
that's
it.
not true because Phil of Flavor.
Okay.
Phil of
Oh,
Flavor,
yeah, I
that one is
forgot
like
about that.
that's a good
Dude,
one.
I was on the fucking battle forums back in the day
And-
and shit. I
were
was a
you?
fucking Texie, dude. I
What?
fucking was taking down championships on that shit when I was like 15. Battling
doing your
and what's so
thing.
funny, battling dudes that like
Yo.
everybody's still doing it. and
Here's the
shit.
thing, but
Fucking
here's the
El
thing.
Gante and fucking
Oh
all
yeah, El
those-
Gant.
Yeah, dude, I
What?
battled him back in the
Yeah,
day.
but that
Mac
was
Lethal.
the thing.
Verbal
That
Kins,
was the
Mac
thing.
Lethal,
Yeah,
all
there was
those
just like some
fucking guys,
battle
dude.
between him and some other guy recently.
Oh, that
It's
Tom
so-
McDonald
so
thing.
stupid.
Jesus,
going
dude.
down.
The worst.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, it didn't dawn upon me until at some point I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that it was that.
Right.
Like, I'm a rapper in the Bronx,
Right. You're
signed
like,
to Def Jokes.
you're like, fuck
I'm
all that.
battling a 12-year-old and
I know, it's me.
it didn't register.
He's got one of
Right.
those
You
long
know what I'm
mics,
saying?
those old computer mics.
Yeah, the
Yep.
white ones.
No, totally.
It didn't quantify in my head that was a reality.
Right.
So I'm sitting here getting heated, like, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the time I'm like, but not for a long time did it actually dawn upon me that was the reality.
that
of
it was just me in the suburbs.
was like
and
just
pulling
some
all
You
dude.
were battling ABBA.
and beasting, like text battles, like
Key
what?
styling?
It was tight though because
Key style.
key style,
Key
key style.
style.
Like you got trusted.
Yo,
this
with the
person.
key style.
Fucking
Key
stupid. Even
style.
then, I hated it. I'm like, fuck you.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
But no, actually, those days, because I was a kid, but it really refined my writing style and learning
Sure.
I could see that.
multisyllabic
I
fucking
could-
rhymes. and-
Yeah, and when it comes to like
punches and
multis and
shit.
you're essentially, because that works in favor of the person that would never be exposed to that kind of writing style.
Right, right.
You know
like
what I'm saying?
That learning of delivery and then learning mic presence and stuff like that. Like it was an interesting time of developing writing skills and recording skills.
Right. So it worked both ways.
Yeah,
It
weird.
was bad for us guys that were out there actually
Actually
doing the
doing
rapping.
shows. and
Not
shit.
good.
Yeah, you're like, yo, what the fuck do you
we
mean?
got caught up in a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, I got
I-
some punchlines for
me,
you, Mr.
me
Rob
and my
Sonic.
boys, exactly.
Rob
and you're all
Sega
like,
Sonic.
fucking come see me at the goddamn fucking show. And baby Jupiter on the 14th. You fucking think you tough. I mean, this guy's 11.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just didn't. It didn't.
Right.
Took a long time for it to actually set in of what it really was.
That's
And I wish I had because there was so many the Def Jokes forum. It could have been so much better.
There was a point where it was really fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. It
But I
just-
think I also feel like I don't know, I wasn't there or anything, but I
Yeah.
felt like Elle was like didn't care about that kind of shit and kind of wanted it off the site anyway.
And, and that's
I feel
fine.
like
There's a time
I
and
think
place
I
for
think
that
the,
shit.
the couple times we talked about it, I think his general approach to it was that people were using it incorrectly, not like how he wanted
Right.
it to be used. He wanted it to be a straight, direct information feed to the artists, and
We're talking
the
about
label.
definitive
Right,
jokes.
but
we're-
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
but-
everybody else is talking about check out this fucking picture of this fucking,
because that's the thing.
look
Forums.
at this crow. It's eating a dick.
Forums were our Reddit or our social media
Right
back
on.
then. It
Right
was
on. Yeah,
like
yeah.
fucking okay. Our common interest is Def Jokes and these artists, and fucking they're doing amazing things. But and
Right.
hey, you like that shit too? Then you might like this picture of this crow eating a dick.
Right. Right.
You
It was, I mean, and
It was a-
memes hadn't even really gone.
Right, right.
Like
And
imagine it then.
Yeah.
I just feel like Elle's head would have just been like,
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude,
I'm
totally.
trying to run a business here.
Dude, I spent years posting Grayskull and Old Dominion links on message boards, just like the hip hop heads hated our music. They hated that shit. They were just like,
Oh yeah, no fucking spamming with your goddamn
with your
fucking-
gothic,
That
your
was-
gothic rap.
Yeah, that was it. Like, you had to like, time your post so you
was like-
you didn't overspam.
It was like the birthing of trolls, really. Like these fucking moderators on the forums being like,
Oh, they were
fucking-
such power hungry dudes,
it's
bro.
so
Like the
funny.
moderators, like
moderators. Fuck
you're
the
fucking-
mods.
yeah.
Fuck the mods.
Fucking
They're
mods.
ri-
Dude, I'm dealing with that exact shit
rising
right
up.
now. Still,
Deleting my
Really?
post.
still to this day.
On what?
This site Seahawks.net that I've been a member of for I don't know 20 years.
And they
It's-
just
it's still
come
there,
through.
and it's changed ownership, and we're in the process of like trying to figure out what the new rules are going to be. They want to loosen it up so it's not so heavily moderated, but since
They're
it's
not
like
allow textiles.
but
Is
since
that-
it's based on like Seahawks fans, like
Yeah.
there's like this whole like, well, if the Seahawks, they could come in at any moment and cease and desist us for having content that they don't
Oh.
approve of, or that advertisers are going
because
to pull
it's
content.
Seahawks.
pull their ads.
So you run.
representing,
That's your site.
No, I'm
Okay.
just a member of it.
but he's
I-
definitely a mod.
Okay.
I've actually never been a mod on.
You
I've
never
but
got
I've
mod.
always
Yeah,
known the
mod.
owners.
Do you remember when somebody would get power who you didn't think was worthy?
Yeah,
And
fuck this guy.
everybody
Like, I
It's
can't
like,
believe.
How'd you make Yellow Pants the fucking mod?
Yeah, Skater Boy 86.
You made him-
fucking
You made him a
fucking
mod.
But then
He
they-
was just yelling at some dude.
But they'd be the mod of like a sub forum too,
Yeah.
because you could have
Yeah, the
them be
politics
like,
forum.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Skater
love-
boy.
were you? Hey, you're quiet over there. What's,
He didn't do none of this
I didn't do
shit.
none
He
of
was
it.
You weren't
riding.
in?
He
You
was
weren't-
riding motorcycles and playing drums.
I asked Zeb before about his
Fishing.
motorcycle.
A motorcycle. I was on IRC. You guys remember
Little
that?
chat app.
That's a chat app.
Yeah,
That's early business. though.
IRC.
Because your internet experience was more like fucking Counter Strike,
Yeah, Counter Strike. A lot
like
of
playing
Counter-Strike.
games.
I
and
was
shit.
Oh.
Trough. I was Trough, and then there was Frostbite, and a couple other guys.
These were your names
Yeah.
when you were shooting
we were-
people
we
on
were-
Counter
We were
Strike.
a clan. Yeah, it was tight.
I never played Counter
We were
Strike.
called. Oh shit! What was the name of our clan? It was, Instigators. So I was
Alright.
Instigator Trough, and then Instigator Trough.
It was like It was like the ASAP crew.
Wait, trough like a pig eats
Yeah,
out of,
I think
or
so.
pissing in a ball
Yeah.
park.
Big
stadium?
muff.
yeah, Trough.
Instigator trough.
Instigator Rocky.
Instigator Frostbite.
Instigator frostbite. Fucking losers.
Oh,
Just
man.
playing.
We would have
Damn.
LAN parties, and like my friend Kevin's grandma would make big old things of chili, and we get Mountain Dews.
All right, guys, time to squat up. No, clan up back then.
Clan up, dude.
Wow.
Clan up, get on the land.
It was the shit, dude. It was so much
But
fun.
that eventually became
We'd
like
stay up. That
But
Call
that
of
became-
Duty,
Call
right?
That
of
became,
Duty,
and
yeah.
which now is esports. Like
Right.
you have.
Yeah, that's
And this was like a whole thing. We
$100,000
would-
a year.
we had to
huge
get-
championship.
huge industry.
prize.
We all had to bring our fucking bulky ass old computers and monitors, like actual fucking heavy, not a flat screen, the old fuck.
CRTs.
Yes, and then fucking you have to set up the LAN and all that shit. It was a lot of.
network together.
It was a lot of
You had to
work.
make a home network
Everybody's
and
on
allow
the same
your buddies.
server.
to
Yeah,
come in.
allow your buddy access to your server.
Right,
Yeah.
and we got cable, and that once we got cable internet, that was a game changer.
You
it was
still,
fast.
but you can't get it now.
Do you want to see?
For
You want to hear
some
this?
reason.
Listen to this. The New York Marathon prize money, $100,000.
Okay.
Tour de France, $580,000. Indy 500, $2.5 million. Wimbledon, just under $3 million.
Okay.
Fortnite World Cup, $3 million bucks.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah.
that game's hard, bro.
Shit.
Fucking hard.
All right. See, I feel like this is going to go on all night.
No, we got to end this.
Well,
I got
we
shit
got
to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you
Yeah.
guys ever watch Cheddar?
Okay. Relax.
Cheddar.
He's getting upset.
I've never
I
watched
feel like he's gonna
Cheddar.
reach over and
So,
clock me.
Cheddar is a channel that
Fuck
is like
you, Sonic.
business news.
I got shit to do.
But it's kind of like it's new business.
The
news.
movie's over.
So
Mo-
it's
like modern tech business
more modern
news,
tech
kinda
business
stuff.
following
Avenues that are
marijuana
new,
stocks
yeah.
and that shit, and they have esports. So it's a fucking big deal. It's a big thing. Like
At-
they play esports.
When I come back
tournaments.
next 6 months, I'm gonna come back every 6 months
I like
until
that.
this stops.
Perfect.
I like that. Yeah.
And you're gonna tell me how to play Fortnite. because I swear to God, I've seen people play and I've tried to play,
All right.
Fucking
And-
impossible.
and I just,
There's no way. You're too old.
what
dude.
is the point? Like, eventually there's one person left.
Yes, it's
Battle Royale.
everybody versus everybody until one winner.
How long can those games last?
They usually don't last long. It's usually about 15 minutes total.
And the
Goes
lobbies are how big? 100?
100 people.
100 people.
But it's
That goes down that quickly.
Oh
That's
yeah,
pretty
dude,
quick.
because it starts out and fucking everybody's killing everybody. well,
Smash,
it starts
smash,
out
smash,
everybody's
smash.
gathering resources, get your
And
weapons,
building
start
up your
building things.
shacks.
Yeah, but then as the map shrinks, everybody's forced closer to each other.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
then
where
there's
that's the X
mass,
factor.
yeah, because it's
Okay.
like you wait, and then as the map shrinks, it's like you got to get that,
You-
but
and you
then
gotta
you're
kill people.
exposed.
Right.
Other people are exposed. Like that's when it
Oh,
so
okay.
by the time, so eventually it's just 2 people in a tiny area.
And would you say that Ninja is the best?
I don't know. I
He's,
mean,
like, the
apparently,
most
right?
popular.
Apparently. So.
Well, I mean,
He's got like 16 million followers or 20 million followers
but you
on
see,
Instagram.
like, actually,
Like The Rock.
I fucking suck at it, and I don't really play it much or anything. But I would try it out here.
well,
and
it's a
there.
hard game.
It's fucking hard, and I die. But watching it, it is fucking interesting because some
It
people are
is.
so fucking good in their strategies and shit. are
How to
interesting.
like lure people
Yeah.
and
and then they
build
build it.
they build
Like,
in
and to be-
really strategic
And
ways.
to be building while you're running around and trying to dodge shit is fucking difficult. It's crazy that people are pulling this
Way
off.
out of my skill set. Fuck.
Yeah, me too.
Fuck that
I
shit.
can't-
I feel like I may actually try.
I think you could get good at it.
I might.
Get over to Sleepy's.
He plays it.
Chair up with those guys.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
they're
they-
like
they
hard.
got-
they
they
got
game
like
hard.
they
Do they
got
play
a,
everything.
They got a Chase Land
I
party.
think Overwatch
down
is
there.
their
Mountain
big
Dew
one.
and
I
chili.
can't
Yeah.
get down with Overwatch.
Dude, yeah.
I
Mountain
can't
Dew
do
and
the
chili.
Overwatch. It's cool, but Overwatch is just too fucking nah.
I wanted to come up with I had an app idea that nobody really.
Don't
I-
tell anybody.
No, I threw.
Was it like-
It was
like-
called Overnap.
You could you can order food and we
What-
deliver to
I
you.
gotta hear what
No,
Overnap is.
it's an interactive app.
Yeah.
And it works with your actual nap.
Right. You're
Okay,
sleeping. You go
now,
take a nap. You turn on the app.
I'm not sure there's the reality side of it, which it could be just like, all right, you're shooting for finding the perfect amount of nap time for you.
Right.
And that could vary greatly between people.
And circumstances.
But there could also be a game where you control a person who's becomes very important, but he's got a nap at some point, right?
Right.
Like he doesn't sleep fully, your character. So he's got to sleep, and he could be in charge of a nuclear plant. Whatever your
Right,
job is, whatever you do, whatever life goal you take,
Uh-huh.
like the game of life,
Right.
and you choose your guy, and then if you overnap sometimes, you have missed your soulmate, and you can't get married because you fucked up a date.
That's pretty tight,
Ooh.
man. Like decision making,
Yo.
strategic game.
If
have
you
to
know any
nap at the right
developers that
time.
want to get in on this, I mean, because you can think of the in-game purchases. Like
Right.
you got to buy a better bed. You got to buy blackout blinds. You
It
got to
kinda-
buy a face mask because you travel a lot as your job as a stewardess.
It kind of reminds me of the Don't Starve game that's really popular now. Almost mixed with that old drug dealer game where it's like you're traveling around, you got to
Grand
Theft
Auto 5?
No,
And it's called-
Drug Dealer.
Is it called Drug Dealer?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
That's
You
tight.
never
I got
played
a
Straightforward.
I got a piss so
that
bad.
was-
All right,
So
yeah,
if
we
there's
better
any-
get
if there's
to
any
these parties.
developers out there that want to reach me. You just send me a mail. I'm available on the social medias. Rob
He'll repost your shit.
Sonic is my name.
Rob Sonic.
It's 2.5
He's
hours
pretty easy
into
to
the
find on the
podcast.
Googles.
My name is
Just
Rob
Rob
Sonic.
Sonic.
Ready. I'm ready.
Rob
Rob Sonic,
I'm ready.
ready.
Rob, thanks for coming in, man,
Yeah,
and
man.
sharing your
Pleasure.
story, man.
It's
It was a
always
good,
great. And
it
I'll
was a
see
good
you guys
time.
in another 6 months.
I had fun.
We'll do it.
Hopefully, we won't have any more.
I won't talk to you for another 6 though.
I don't know if anything could be more
Please.
sort of exciting.
It's fun.
You know, there was a lot that went down in my 6 months.
Yeah, it was really good to catch up and hear
Nicely
about
done.
that. So
I
hopefully
wish-
nothing that crazy
want-
happens in the next.
Yeah,
6
let's
months.
hope. And maybe if it's boring, then
I hope
6
it
months.
is.
No,
I hope you
We'll
have a
go
safe
in.
6
One
months.
of us has to have a crazy 6 months.
I think in 6 months.
Hopefully
you're gonna
crazy
come back
good.
and shit's
Hopefully
gonna be
yes.
good.
Not
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, crazy good.
It doesn't have to be crazy bad.
Hey, I'm
doesn't have
gonna
to be.
invite you over for Christmas though.
Yeah, we'll check back in at Christmas.
Well,
Yeah.
that's how we're gonna do it, right?
Yeah,
Like, I'm gonna
Christmas
be
time with
Christmas
Rob.
and then summer.
Exactly.
Is that how?
All right, we're out. Later. I gotta piss.
Thanks for listening, everybody.